and the new one.
Yep, I already added that for you. Innovation.
Ooh, can I see my character in here?
Yeah. So, well, go to the actors thing. You'll be able to pull yourself up from there.
Oh, look at that attractive face. He's such a pretty man.
So as you guys, at least for Becky and Justin, who are already loaded into Foundry here, I didn't have a landing page set up yet, so I'll get to that. It's just a black screen, so don't be surprised if when you get in, it's just a black screen there. I still got to get up a lot of things loaded. I didn't get as much time. Work's been crazy the last couple of weeks.
I forgot how fucking stupid I am.
Oh, this is so much different with
wisdom,
spells.
+1 intelligence.
Yeah, you haven't seen Foundry yet with your spells, have you? Yeah, that's a big difference. Yeah. So, well, when you guys get loaded in, go ahead and bring up your character sheets because you still have to roll hit points. I've already bumped everything.
Hit points.
Yep. I've already bumped everything else as far as levels.
My spiritual banjo! I forgot about you.
I went through inventory, including the bag of holding, so all that stuff is there.
Ooh,
Everything
nice.
should be set like it is, but if I forgot anything, don't be surprised. So just go over your sheets as we're playing or as you have time thoroughly, and just if there's anything missing. What's that, Fox?
I don't think I'll remember if there's anything missing. It's been too long.
Well, I put.
Let's see.
Let's see. I forgot it for Justin, but I put sheets in for everybody. Let's see. Yeah, there's one for Arteme as well. So each of you, Justin, I thought I had it in. I thought I had Pogo in your Discord channel, but I did. It's there. Okay, cool. All right. So each of you have a level 8 PDF in your
Fantastic.
in Discord.
Wait, did you figure out? Did you do that from
Yeah, I exported it from. No, I exported it from Fantasy Grounds.
Oh, Fantasy Grounds. Okay.
Yeah, I exported that so that we would have a snapshot of everything.
That would be fucking rad.
Not directly, no. So that the import to Foundry actually came from D&D Beyond, and then once that was imported, I went through and made sure that everything that was on your character sheets, including inventory and so on, because obviously the D&D Beyond stuff didn't have a lot of your guys' inventory things or like homebrew type stuff. So I used your character sheets that I exported from Fantasy Grounds to make sure that everything lined up. So hopefully that's all there. That stupid face. I need to make a transparency. I didn't even as his dumb Scottish accent. I need to make a transparency version of a bunch of these things too. So there's a ton of stuff, obviously, that I don't have prepped for Embers in Foundry just yet, but I'll get to that over time. I probably should have gone another week just to get stuff prepped and everything, but we'll be okay as is. Just I won't have everything in here just yet. Ben, like your rage, I don't have the. Did I put the macro on your bar? Do you have a macro on your bar that says rage, G?
Yes, that was the one thing that was on there. I'm adding the other stuff now. So
can you click that for me real quick?
I know I'm already staged. How do I get off my stage?
All right, so that. You to get yourself off.
Sorry.
God damn it.
Right click. You just right click on my little dumb face.
Okay, all right.
Yeah, just right click or something. It's not that bad.
All right.
Do you actually understand French, Justin, or were you just saying hi?
I understand about 6 words. And 2 of them are dirty, so that's about it.
Yeah, they would only have.
Well then,
one.
okay, yeah.
Most of my French I learned
purpose,
from most of my French I learned from a.
Porn?
No, that one song.
Wait, what?
It had
The Suvu Play
yeah.
song. Suvu Play song.
Voulez-vous coucher avec quoi ce soir? That one?
Yeah.
Oh my! Wow. Okay. Wow. I'm sorry. No.
Just because that was a
That's
pop
not a
hit
disco
for
song.
3 fucking
Yeah, it
years.
is.
Yeah, that's not disco. That was from like the 2000s, wasn't it?
Yeah, it was
Oh
from
no, that was like the song from like the.
4, maybe?
Well, okay, that
Was it a cover or something?
No, they're talking about
they
Lady
redid
Marmalade.
Lady Marmalade. Yeah, the original Lady Marmalade was from the 70s, I believe.
Really?
Yeah, probably
then they
the original
redid it with,
Lady Marmalade was
Christina
probably from,
Aguilera.
like 1912. But
Well, I wouldn't fucking
Well,
know that.
yeah.
No, Ben, yeah, you got it, BG. It was from 1974. Jeez.
Okay.
From
It was redone, though.
there's only one, and it's the one with Christina Aguilera. I refuse
No,
to
I'm
believe
sorry.
that anything else existed before Christina Aguilera did.
apparently it was LaBelle was the original artist.
Yeah.
Patty
All
LaBelle.
right. This is
Go to
LaBelle.
the same church.
Sure you do. Justin would burst into flames if he stepped inside of a church.
I'd be fine.
All right.
I wouldn't go, but
Yeah, I wouldn't go either, but all right. Let's roll the hit points, and then I think everything is on your guys' sheets already. At least the main thing.
Can I switch? And we don't have to do this right now, obviously, but I think I do want to switch out my second level silence with a third level spell.
Yeah.
Whenever.
Yeah.
We can do it.
I mean, we can go. No, in fact, I'd rather go over the sheets ahead of time in case there's
Okay.
anything you guys want to trade out. Since we're going to do the hit points and everything, anyways. Ben, yours is a D12. So if you want to roll a D12.
I think mine's a D6 or a D8, one of those two.
Okay, what do we need to roll hit points again for? Mine are already on my sheet. I have 92. Is that
Yeah,
what
but that was your level 8 hit points.
We got to level up.
Oh, yeah, we leveled up. Yeah.
And I already put everything on there. So for yours, G, you got what's called brutal critical. And if you go into your features, it's under the passive section there. In fact, I'll click it for you so you can see it in here in the chat. But what it does, if you click that to expand it, anytime you crit, you get to roll another die on top of the already, doubled dice.
Yeah, cool. Hell yeah.
All right, what you got? You got a 6. All right, so another 6 hit points, bringing you up to 98 is your new max.
Is it 6 plus whatever is other?
Oh yeah, sorry, it's
Yes,
plus the con modifier. Yeah.
Okay.
Con modifier is another 3, so that brings you to 101, breaking triple digits.
All right. Can I go next? I got a
Yeah,
D8. Let's do this. Shazam!
Just like we were doing when we were finishing up.
Plus 1. 6 points!
When we were finishing up Rose and Thorn, you guys, the more of your own inventories you handle, the more you handle your own spells, things like the certain stuff I have to add for you, like dragging it from sheets and so on. That's obviously totally yeah, exactly. If you guys can do your own stuff, it'll help me a lot because then stuff doesn't get forgotten so much. Because in the middle of running the game, I'm keeping notes the entire time, and so it's easy for me to forget things, so do too many things at once. So the more of your own stuff you can handle, the better. It'll help me out. Fox or Becky, who wants to roll next?
I guess I'll go. Mine's a D6, right?
That sounds right. It'll be whatever your hit dice are. For a sorcerer. Actually, if you go to your features and then scroll down to hit points, it'll tell you in there. So for a sorcerer, I just clicked on it. It is a 1d6 per sorcerer level. Yeah, so everybody in your features, if you go to your hit points, that tells you how you calculate it and everything. All right, so 3 plus your con modifier is another 1. So for a total of 4, bringing you to 65 if you want to change that. Fox, you ready for yours?
Okay, how does it tell you?
So in your character sheet, go to features. And then under passive abilities, you see the one that's labeled hit points. Click on that. And if you just expand it, it'll tell you, or you can click the heart.
Okay, so it's 1d8 per druid level.
Exactly.
So it's a D8.
Yours is a D8 plus your con modifier, which your con modifier is 2. So go ahead and roll your D8. Becky, did you find your hit point thing to update it?
Yeah, it should have updated.
I didn't look. I was just making sure.
Yeah.
Should be 65. Yep, you're good. Cool. All right, Fox got a 4 plus 2. Hey, you didn't roll awful this time. 4 plus 2 for an extra 6, so bringing you to 67.
I should have gotten Monk to roll for me, though.
Does he have better? Well, I know he can have it worse luck at least, but do you know where to change that? Do you remember?
Somewhat. I go hit points up here, and I add 6.
Well, you can if you just click where it says 61 under hit points, just click 61, change it to 67.
Okay, there we go.
There you go. Yep.
Plus 6, how you did it.
Yeah, for most of the fields, you can just do. That's what I was showing you guys for, like the hit point bars below your tokens and everything. For most of the fields that light up like that, like if you highlight over it and it turns blue or whatever, most of the fields that act that way, you can just click in there and type in a number like +1 or -5 or whatever, and it'll automatically do the math for you. Don't change your stats, of course, because you can do that with your stats as well. So don't go cheating and changing your stats to max them all out at 20s or something. But you can at least see it.
I'm actually kind of surprised. There might be a feature for this, but I'm kind of surprised that there's not a lock characters sheets option.
The thing is this is a game that nobody benefits from if you cheat. You know what I mean? Because who is going to benefit from that other than one, making you look a little dumb, and then two, like you're cheating at a game that
Oh yeah. I mean, I appreciate it that like because you playing with friends and stuff, but I know that there's enough fucking people in the world who are.
That's for sure, and there are some players
4
even
years
in our
ago.
other game maybe that
4
might
years ago, I was very trusting, and I believed the world was filled with mostly good people. I don't know what could have happened.
What changed 4 years ago? In November, thereabout.
Somewhere around there.
All right. So, like I was saying, for your stuff here, I'm pretty sure I got all the proficiencies, like languages, the tools, all of your proficiencies with your skills. I think that's correct for everything. I was pretty thorough, but if I missed something, by all means, point it out. Or if you guys are, if you're missing like an item that you had or something like that. So for the bag of holding, by the way, guys, if you go to the actors tab and then if you click on the player characters section, right, the purplish section there. You'll see under that there's a folder that says player character stuff. You'll see the bag of holding there and all the stuff that's in there. Don't everybody go messing with it, because if everybody's messing with it at once, it'll probably mess up.
I'm gonna forget that it's there.
Well, I mean, Arteme is usually the one that's carrying it, but you guys can see it at least there anyway. Obviously, your characters can't yank stuff from it unless you're near enough to Arteme for her to hand it to you or whatever. Fox, you also will have a section under there that's labeled wild shapes. I don't have all of those added yet either. I still have a bunch of those that I still need to finish.
Okay.
And I didn't finish the tokens yet either. But that's how it'll work essentially, is that since you see that section, you'll be able to just click on one of those and drag it over and drop it on your character sheet, and it'll give you the option if you want to wild shape them. So you can just do it whenever you want. I mean, anytime in the game, I don't have to do it for you. It'll automatically give you the correct stats and all of their abilities and everything. And then when you're done, there's a button to revert right at the top, and it'll switch you right back to what you were before.
Okay, sorry, you kind of lost me. Where is this? Because I seen it under features, but is it under features?
So actually go to the actors tab, and then I think you'll be the only one that can see this folder. But if you go to the actors tab, you'll see the player. Okay, you'll see the player characters folder, and then you'll see your character sheet.
Mm-hmm.
But under the player character, or under the player characters folder, do you have another folder that's labeled wild shapes?
Yeah. Okay. So the way I'm seeing it is kind of weird because I'm seeing player character stuff.
So
the stuff
click on
is
player character stuff, and that'll minimize that folder.
Yeah.
And then you'll have another folder under that labeled wild shapes, right?
Yeah, but the wild shape is where I find my character, Norak, Pogo, and Sarah.
They're actually inset a little bit. It's kind of hard to explain what I'm referring to here. So the wild shapes folder's little icon for the folder to the left of the word wild. Is that open or closed?
Oh, that was close. Okay, gotcha. Okay, I got it. Yeah, that opened now. Okay.
Yeah. And then
that was confusing.
If only my clients were like a third as intelligent as any of us, it would make my fucking job. Do you know how long that would have taken me to describe and get someone to click on that fucking thing at my job?
Well, I mean,
2-hour process.
You realize I'd have to do the same thing as you do, except I'm only talking to technicians for the most part. So I'm usually walking my techs through, how to do stuff like that. So, thankfully it's not quite as hard. But,
you already added the fox, the auroch, the direwolf, and the crick. They're so cute. You put icons. And I like the icon for Sai. It's adorable, by the way.
Which one? Oh, yeah. She's in the player character stuff. Yeah. I thought you'd like that one. It was the first one that I found for Kitsune that wasn't dumb looking, so I figured you'd like that one. The Shan one is real ugly, because I mean she's supposed to be kind of ugly, so hopefully that doesn't offend Becky. That Shan is a fucking monster. But with those, what you'll do, Fox, is when you have your character sheet open, you will just grab like the direwolf and you'll just click on the word direwolf and drag it over and drop it on your sheet anywhere. And if as long as I set the permissions correctly, then it'll give you another window will pop up saying, what do you want to do with this? And you don't have to click anything else. Down at the bottom of that new window will be a button that says wild shape. Do you see that?
Yep.
So if you click that, it'll automatically do everything. It'll convert you in. Now let's see if we see another character on here labeled Arteme Direwolf, and it shows the direwolf icon. Now, if I already I think I do have the token set for the direwolf actually. I think it's the only one that I set the token for, if I remember right. But basically, now your sheet has all of the direwolf stuff on it instead. So all the stats are automatically adjusted to where they're supposed to be. If you go to the like the inventory, you'll see bite there. Features, you'll see the keen hearing and smell and pack tactics and all that stuff.
Yeah, I hit the revert back and it just reopened my character sheet. So that's great.
Yep. Pretty cool, huh?
There's also a character sheet for Sai, which is kind of cute.
Yeah.
Although there's not much on it. I think there's distract and keen sense of smell and hearing. So.
That's all she's got. The NPC sheets are a little simpler than player sheets, of course. The same as they were in Fantasy Grounds, of course. But yeah, you can see the stuff that they can do in there. Same for Shan. Did I get all the stuff in there for Shan for her bite for the? Yeah, if the target is a creature, DC 13 strength saving throw, be knocked prone. Yeah, so that stuff is all in there. And then I gave you guys, so for Fox and Becky, I gave you guys control over those character sheets, so you'll be able to use their attacks and stuff when they come up in combat and everything. You don't need me to do it for you.
And how do I get up her character sheet?
Go to the player character stuff folder.
Stuff. Okay. There she is.
How do I add size distract to my toolbar?
That's a good question. I don't know that you can drag it from an NPC sheet. I hadn't really thought about that, actually.
I can't, which is why I'm asking if there is a way, because I use it a lot, and if I could avoid having our character sheet open, because that would make 3 windows, 2 windows on my second monitor.
You won't need you don't need her character sheet anyways, and I'll show you what I mean here in a minute. I'm gonna need to. I forgot to give Pinocchio to Justin here, so I can do that real quick.
Oh, he's dead though. Oh, but yeah, I can.
Yeah, but I mean, theoretically, you'll summon it, or you don't have to name it Pinocchio every time. You can, you can name him whatever you'd like. But and I have to give that to there. All right, cool. Now Justin has Pinocchio. Ben's the only one that doesn't have a special thing, I guess. You'll have to get yourself a pet, G.
I thought I was his pet.
You thought what?
I thought I was his pet. By the way, I haven't done the Pogo voice in. Fuck, what is that?
Well, now you're settling into
yeah,
right. When you first came back in, it was way too Scottish, and now it's now it's starting to sound right, like a little more Highlands.
To get more into it,
yeah.
It's gonna be tricky.
Yeah, the more you do it, the more you're settling into it. Fox, if I need to, I will just put an ability on your sheet that does the same thing, and you'll just have to use it when it's size turn. But you actually don't need, as much as the hotbar is handy for this. Remember the little thing in the top left corner, the little HUD thing?
Right, the add-on, yes.
Yeah, in fact, actually, here I'm gonna switch us over to the world map real quick, and I'll put
Chrono
Psy on
Trigger.
show you.
Okay, that music almost blew out my eardrum.
Oh, sorry.
I forgot to turn it down. It's good.
Yeah, I was gonna say, it
turned
sounds good on my side. So.
Yeah, it's actually a little bit loud on my side too, so let me turn it down a little bit. Just if I can find it, there it is. Oh yeah, I had it. That one was turned up all the way. All right, so that's where it should be. So go ahead and adjust your. That's actually a little bit too loud to you.
Ooh, I love it. Oh, it looks
there we go.
So good.
That's where it should be. So go ahead and adjust your volume to. You know what I'm annoyed with the birds is that specific effect is called crows. So they're they're black because they're crows, right? But that's fucking dumb. They should have just called it birds first of all, and then used the tint thing so that I could make them white, or I can make them seagulls. If they just left it either translucent and then use the tint, or make it white to begin with, and then you could tint it to whatever color you wanted, including black. Because I wanted them to be seagulls, not fucking crows flying all around. Since this is supposed to be an island and all.
So fucking needy.
Yeah, I really, the thing is
so
like.
Needy.
I guess.
Excuse me, can you redo the crows and make them transparent so we can make them lighter or darker?
I mean,
How am I supposed to make seagulls fly around this game on one of my maps?
I realize to most people that's dumb. To me, though, it's less about that I needed
so
that.
Much better.
But I don't think it's like a dumb. It's a great suggestion, because if they have somebody else who wants something else, make it transparent to where people can make it whatever color they want.
That's it. Yeah,
it is good because they'll sell more packs if it's customizable, right?
Well, yeah, I mean, this isn't something people buy. It's all free, so I mean, it's hard to complain about somebody doing free work,
Okay, my point is, if they were selling it, they'd sell more with more customization.
Yeah.
But because it's free, that makes it a bit harder.
Yeah. But here's the thing, right? So for me, it's less about that I want it to be a certain way, and more about this would be the only smart way to do it. And what bothers me is when people that are smart enough to write the development for this, let's say, things like that, to people that put in that much effort and then make a stupid design decision like making them black, because all that does is remove options for no benefit. There's no reason to do it that way. I mean, the birds, if you wanted to get real picky about it, you could say, well, a seagull's wings don't look like a crow's wings, so they wouldn't look like crows anyways, but nobody's going to give a shit about that much. But they would like the autonomy to be able to choose the color. You know what I mean?
Yeah, fair enough.
Anyways, if you look just to the right of the little moving Arteme token, I put Psy out there in the water.
No.
Yeah.
So if you click on her, Fox, you'll see the little options in the top left corner.
I don't. I can move. Oh, okay. Features. Yeah, I see.
Yeah, click on her first. Apparently, you know what? I must not have set the thing as an attacker or something. Let me grab her real quick.
So she's proficient in perception and stealth. That's great.
Yeah. I need to change the icon for the what's it called? For the distract as well. How do I make this distract? Oh, here we go. One action.
Fucking A, I've got too many first level spells on here. So fucking many.
There you go. Now she has distract under inventory. So if you just click on her, the little hotbar in the top left corner, you can use that without having to put it on your hotbar.
Gotcha. Okay, perfect. Yeah, that's probably going to be better anyway.
Yeah, the hotbar, honestly, the hotbar at first was really
Can I
useful.
hide the hotbar?
Yes, the bottom left corner. Between the player list and the hotbar itself, you see that little box that has the folder and then an arrow. Click the arrow, and the hotbar will disappear.
I'm just gonna delete everything off the hotbar, so when I hit my keys, I don't accidentally use stuff I'm not trying to use.
Yeah. You can. I mean, they're handy for macros. At first, that's what I was doing too. Is I was putting all my abilities on there. But since that token HUD works really, really well, and it has all the stuff that might be useful, like if you just click on yourself, like right now you have short bow and your arrows and your braided green lash and all that stuff, all your spells, you can go into the sheet for anything that isn't on there, but basically most of your big stuff will be available from the HUD. It makes it a lot easier to just grab it from there, and then you can use your hotbar for other stuff, basically macros and things like that, which you guys don't really need yet, but for stuff like for Norok, for example, for him to be able to go in and out of rage, that is much more useful for him to just be able to have a button that he can toggle on and off like that.
Yeah, and it would be useful for his rogue too in the other one.
Yep. All right, so let's see where we left off. Obviously, this is all intro stuff. I think we got everything character-wise taken care of. Anybody have any questions on where stuff is or how things work?
Not yet.
Speaking of macros, actually, at some point we should set up those got it macros as well. Do you remember what I'm talking about?
Yes.
The things where you whisper to the DM got it, because those could potentially come up very quickly, so you might want to put one of those in your hotbar. Does anybody need help with doing that real quick?
Yes.
What are we trying to add to our hotbars?
So click on wherever you want it to be on your hotbar. Like if you just click an empty one, like click 0 or whatever, right? Click on that, and it'll give you a box that pops up that says new macro. And delete new macro and just type in got it or whatever, acknowledge, something like that. Where it says command, what you need to type in there is here. Ignore the dots on this. Ignore the dots and just start with a slash. And then after, I think that's it. I think DM will work. Oh, I put it in the chat. You should be able to just copy and paste it from the chat, actually.
Embers?
Huh? No, not in Discord. In the chat, in Foundry.
Dumb. We're talking about Whisper DM.
Yeah, to whisper. I think DM is a proper variable for that, so give that it might be GM, but you can try it like that. There you go. Yep, that works.
And that's what this is just what we type in the bar where it said macro.
Did you get it?
Yeah, it worked from both Fox and Justin. Yeah, so Ben, what you'll do is you'll copy, so just highlight all the way back to the slash, but no extra spaces before it. Make sure it just starts with the /W, and then copy it. And then you're going to paste it in the box where it says new macro. You're going to delete where it says new macro and just type in got it or something like that. And then down below that where it says command and there's line 1. Do you see that?
Yeah.
So where it'll say scope and then type and then trigger and then command. In the command box that's below that, just paste that part. So all it'll say in that box is /W space DM space got it. And then hit save macro.
It's not letting me copy it.
You can try typing it manually. Copy may not work. I thought it does, or I thought it did, but I know when I tried to paste into the chat bar, it didn't work, which is part of the reason I had to make macros for these things. I'll figure a way around it eventually. Yep, I just got one from Ben.
Cool.
The part of the reason that this came up actually is because I have things, the things that could potentially come up in this session that I needed to be able to whisper to you guys, and I tried to paste it in there, and when I did, it sent it to everybody. So I was glad I tested it first because it would have, it would have sent what should have been a whisper to everyone. All right, I just got Becky's tool. Cool. All right, so I should have preloaded that because I think that map's not too big. Now this map that we're going to, guys, I do have the animated tokens on there, as you guys can see. Pogo dragged himself onto here too, so we have Pogo and Arteme animated on here. Fox, are they, as they cycle through the animation, is there a frame that it drops?
Yep.
Okay.
It goes black.
Okay.
But I think we established that it's just a Firefox thing, so
It is. Well, it is, but it's annoying, and I mean, if that would definitely bother me because I tested it in Firefox and I saw the same thing, and I would get annoyed by it pretty quick. If you guys, if performance-wise, or if we just don't want to use them for whatever reason, if you guys don't want to use the animated tokens, or if they're slowing things down or something, that's totally fine. We can animate them using the filter things anyway. So just let me know
if we would know if they were slowing things down.
Oh, speaking of, you guys actually need to go in and change the performance settings, the frame rate down to 30, and that stuff too. I'll walk you through that here in a second. But I mean, just I guess compare it to how Rose and Thorn was running. And I know for Becky, even in the last couple of sessions, that map was really big, and I had a bunch of things going on top of it. But I'd like this to run smoother than that, Becky. So if there are parts of Embers that are running at a chug, just let me know, and I'll scale some of those things back. And maybe one of the first things to go would probably be the animated tokens, but I don't know that we need them. They look cool, but I don't know that we need them, especially on big maps. And I could always just switch back and forth. For doing smaller stuff, you can have the animated tokens, that kind of thing. Does that make sense?
Yeah.
All right. So real quick, to change the performance to make it run smoother for everybody, click the gear in the top right corner where it says Game Settings, and then go to Configure Settings. And then up at the top, you'll have 3 sections. You'll have Core, System, and Module. Go to the Core Settings. And then scroll down a little bit where it says Maximum Frame Rate. Drag that bar until it says 30. So drag it to the left until it says 30 to the right. And then down below that, I'm going to show you guys this setting, but don't change it yet. If the computer is lagging too much and you really need to, I have it set to Panda token. For what Justin was just doing, if things are lagging too much and you want to just, turn it down to kind of help things out, you can come in here and where it says Enable Soft Shadows, just disable that and then save it. It'll reload the map. The shadows will look really shitty, but everything will run a lot smoother. That makes a big performance difference. So just keep that in mind. Don't disable it yet unless you really need to. But if it's getting to that point, let me know anyway so that I can make some other adjustments to help performance anyways. So okay, so that bubble looked like it was coming out of Artemis' box. I'm like, there's no fucking way. Like, Box would have said that.
Sorry, I'm just playing around with my dice. I have no idea what's going on.
You're fine. I mean, you guys can obviously change your color and
trying
too.
to play around. No, I'm playing around with some of the emotes stuff. But I can't.
All right. Fox, save your dice where you're at real quick because I'm going to move us to another scene, to actually get started here. But then you can just bring your dice right back up again afterwards.
Okay, so
make sure that you don't lose it just in case. I'm not sure if that window will disappear when we move, but let's try it.
I saved it and closed it anyway.
Okay. Here we go. Still waiting for Becky to move over. All right. Everybody should be here?
Yeah.
All right. So, where we left off, as I'm sure you guys, remember from literally 3 months ago, it was like mid to early June when we finished it. We are in the ruined temple in Reverend Bay. We just finished off the Azul horror that was corrupting Termos. It's Sunday, the 22nd of Harvestry, about 12:30 in the afternoon. So just early afternoon, basically. The music's a little loud too. Hang on, let me turn that down. At this exact time, where we just happen to be here, I'll take us both down a bit. There we go. At this exact time, by the way, for what was happening elsewhere, a few hundred miles northeast of here, the Rose and Thorn group are fighting off an elemental in the cracks of the volcano, and so basically, the same time is almost lined up. You guys actually, because you took a little bit longer, Rose and Thorn is slightly ahead. But where we left off, Ozzy had just teleported himself out. The Isoquendai had just come down from the ceiling. Remember, they were upside down on the ceiling after Arteme and Pogo had dropped the bombs into the warrior's body and blew him up. And Therese, after landing back down, had told you already that the Elantari, the queen, has agreed to allow you guys to take the the Ark, at least temporarily, as long as you bring it back, of course. But you will need to seek out Artemis' aunt, Leary, they were left, and she, and find her because she knows where it is. But after landing here, the group here of the S.O.Quendi, Therese asks, "Who is that ghost mage?"
Oh, that guy? Well,
Yeah, friend of yours?
That was his name's, and I'm gonna look. His name's Ozzy, right? That's I even remember. I think.
Well, that was his projection or whatever.
Oh yeah, it was. It was like half here, half. Apparently, he's stronger than we thought he was, and he's got some neat tricks up his sleeve. Hey, Launder, you made it, Launder.
For lack of all efforts.
How fun was that, though? Seriously, that was pretty fun.
That was terrifying, and he's still.
Yeah, but look what we just killed.
He's literally like shivering in place, like with adrenaline still a little bit.
Oh, this is gonna be stories. You're gonna have some good stories to bring back to your people.
People. Stories. I don't know. I'm happy we're still alive. I can't believe that we've managed to put away what was destroying our entire community here. He looks at the elves. It's clear that there's a certain hesitance between the S.O.Quendi, even though, remember, they're all elves. He's an elf too, and they are standoffish toward him a little bit, it seems. And he's his look almost looks pleading, like a dog that's begging. You know what I mean? When he's looking at them, there's a certain sadness in his eyes that are clear.
Catch me, Launder, and I'm gonna go kind of like run to give him a big hug.
Okay. Give me a dex check.
Launder.
No, for real. Give me a dex
All right,
check.
water, dude.
Yeah, remember, you guys are
dexterous. Wait. I'm all right.
You leap through the air, and he reaches down to try to catch you, but his arms are still shivering, and he just kind of he's still slightly wet. You just kind of slip through the fur and splash into the water right beside him, taking a nice refreshing dip in this poisonous, still purple water that is, of course, thick with the blood of the corpse, the giant, massive carcass that is sinking in the waves.
It tastes like pennies. Well, I will climb out. I will climb out of the water behind Launder.
Therese, as you had run forward like that, kind of just steps backward a little bit, just kind of giving you some room. Is he always so chaotic?
I'm just gonna shrug.
Always.
Yeah, he's always fun.
Therese kind of turns and looks at Artemis, and she's going to whisper a little bit, but not necessarily trying to be super quiet, but she kind of leans in Artemis' direction. He knew your friend. He knew to find you here?
Yeah, I think Sarah's been in contact. Mostly.
There's a suspicious kind of squint in her eyes. She says, "All right, well, it's curious, but oh shit, I need to send this. Ben, go ahead and hit your button. Just assuming you get this."
Okay. Yep.
I'm just gonna give her a small shrug, and we did ask him on info about this thing to see if how to take it down, so he got back to us by popping up.
I mean, that was pretty helpful.
It was certainly helpful. We're glad that he came. You really have no idea what this means. This was the end of not only our community, but potentially our entire nation here. I mean, it would have continued to spread, and she kind of, there's a glance that she looks up at Launder and then kind of back. It's a quick glance, and it's clear that it's not intended. An unintended glance at him. But we all would have been much worse off, and now it seems we can resume at least some semblance of normalcy. Launder kind of, what's that?
Maybe this place will start being a little bit more back to normal. We can figure out. That was like step one, but we'll start somewhere. This is not bad. Not a bad place to start.
Launder, just in replying to you, he says, "Yeah, there's certainly a lot more work to be done, of course. And to be honest," and he's kind of looking down at his claws and his arms. I don't feel much different, but it's at least we don't have the whispers anymore.
I feel bad that we had to kill that one lady.
Speaking of the collector's wife, what are we gonna do about her? She's not dead. At least she wasn't when I left her. Artemis clocked her in the temple with a rock. Remember, knocked her
I
out.
do not remember.
Oh, okay, so as she
Is she like around here somewhere?
I guess it's been a while. Does nobody remember where she is?
She was a little ways back.
Yeah. So remember where you guys fought the Illithid on the little like
Yeah.
the
I think
She was
she's
up
back by the
here.
stone table.
exactly.
She was up
Yeah.
here.
Yeah, you guys knocked her. Well, she.
Let's see if she's all right. I'm gonna run back.
Okay.
I
I don't know. I guess trying to rehabilitate her? I don't know.
Were you not trying to kill her with that rock? It just looks pretty hard.
No.
Yeah, she said it was non-lethal, so I assumed that
All
you
right.
intended to knock her out.
Oh, well, she's gone.
Well, so you run over to the space where you knew you saw her kind of collapse after being knocked unconscious. Apparently, you thought she was dead, but where she had fallen anyways, because she was floating up off of the ground right
Sure.
in the area where you're at, and then
Program
after being hit in the
defense.
temple.
He probably wouldn't know.
Well, that's it. I mean, she did hit. Artemis did hit her in the temple with a
Yeah.
rock, so I mean, you would have assumed probably that it did kill her. But Artemis is telling you now, of course, that it was, that she was alive. Well, Launder had even told you because he had checked on her as well. But what you see over there is where the body had been laying. There is a small purple, like fleshy bit laying on the ground.
She either turned into a little goo or she ran away. I'm not quite sure. I'm gonna look around here a little bit more. Maybe there's a bunch of pieces of goo that need to be put together or something.
It's a puzzle. She's a 500-piece puzzle now. Fox, did you see those?
Yeah.
So in looking closer at it, when you kind of looking around anyways, you move around to the back side of it, and this fleshy bit is about a 4-inch long or so tadpole. It's one of the Ceramorphosis tadpoles laying on the ground, dead.
Okay, I'm just gonna tell them that Owen took off, and she says thanks for our help.
Are you
Pogo's
talking about the dead tadpole here? You think that's? Are we lying? What's happening?
No, I'm talking about the elf that thing was possessing.
Oh, so she's gone.
Yeah,
Not
she's
dead?
gone. No.
All right. Well, that's cool. I guess kind of rude to just up and leave after we, fought a monster with her, and then she attacked us and just booked it. I mean, we'll find her later. Maybe she's back at her hut. Oh, maybe she's eating some of that stew. Wonder what happened to that guy. What do you guys think happened to the big guy with the stew?
Oh, let's hope she's not eating that.
I'm just yelling. At this point, I'm just yelling.
not even over the stone.
Do you guys remember the big guy with the stew? He was like a ghost. That was weird.
It's not even over the stone. Not even pineappling, but just shouting it over.
Ah. Do I see anything interesting over here now that I have time to actually look and there's not fucking shit flying all over the place?
You are amidst a bloody mess. Let's see. One of them died there.
Oh, I think I already took something magical off this table and tossed it to fucking dudes who booked it. Okay. That's right. The thing that I thought was the thing, and then it wasn't the thing. And,
Yeah.
Okay.
Which,
I think I already did.
okay. So I vaguely remember that I pointed this out to you guys at that time. I don't remember if I did that. Do you? I'm not gonna tell you if you don't remember. But
So you pointed out that this was one of a couple of. It wasn't the thing that we came here for to borrow, but that it was one of a couple items. What someone else recognized exactly what it is. I want to say it was Sarah.
Sarah had one.
Yeah, Sarah had one, and then we gave.
Oh, right, we had gotten it was some kind of scroll thing like we got from Misetsu's tomb. It was
Some
like
cylinder.
another piece of it or something. I remember a bit something like that, but not much. Like that's all I remember. It was something that we already have one of.
Well, I forgot to put that thing in Sarah's inventory. So Becky, if you would do that for me, just so that it's not forgotten. The thing that you took. So I'll describe to you what it is. You put it in your inventory however you'd like. Describe it however you want to. Do you know how to add items, guys? I don't know if I showed you this. All right, so bring up your character sheets real quick. And I'm going to show you how to add an item, and then you just delete it, everybody except for Becky. Just you'll create an item and then delete it. But in inventory, on your inventory tab in your character sheets, go down to like the loot section, for example, and you'll see like the sections have that kind of gray color. On the bar to the right side of the bar is a little button that says plus add. You see that?
Mhm.
So when you click on that, it'll scroll down again after you click it, and you'll see a new item labeled new loot or new container or whatever section you clicked on. Once you clicked on it, I made one on yours already, Fox. So you're just making multiple. So there's 3 now. Scroll down after. No, you're fine. After you make one, just scroll down again, and you'll see that it's created. It'll say new loot. Once you've created it, to the right of it, you'll see the little edit item.
Yeah.
Little button. Click on that, and then you can type in the name, and then there's a description box. If you mouse over the box in the bottom right corner of that window, that's the description. You can click on the little edit button there, and it'll let you type in whatever info you want. The part that says new loot is just the title. I don't think it'll let you guys set icons yet. I need to change that so that you can, pick items pick icons rather for your items and so on. But anyways, for now, you can put the information in there. What it was, how it looks and everything, Becky, is what's that?
It's being a little slow. Hang on.
Okay.
Yeah, we had a person completely lose connection last game. I'm getting a little worried. I'm wondering if the I don't know.
Did his Wi-Fi not? I thought it was his Wi-Fi though.
Well, I mean, it probably was because everyone else's was working okay. But
Yeah.
it makes me nervous.
Well, did you ever hardwire yours?
Yeah, it's hardwired every
Okay.
game. In fact,
All
the IP address is only static for the hardwire connection now.
Cool. All right.
I can play on Wi-Fi just fine. Like I'm playing right now on Wi-Fi,
Yeah.
but I just can't host it.
Yeah. Well, hosting is totally different. Everybody's connecting back to you. So, do you have your notes, Becky? Do you remember, or did you take notes of what it was?
I did actually.
It was like it looked
So
kind
it's
of
a
like
cylinder, and it's
piece
got
of
the medical symbol on
Yes,
it.
that's
The
what the
snake
shape
around
that
the
it looks like. Yeah, exactly. It looks like 2 helix, like a double helix almost, around the outside of a cylinder, but they're not connected, and still somehow are in stasis, connected as if it was one solid piece.
I'm gonna start playing my banjo.
All right. But anyway, so go ahead and put that in your inventory however you would like. But that was, it's not, it doesn't feel or look at all similar to the things you found in the Setsu's tomb. Apart from it essentially being a cylinder. But Sarah found that one off of one of the Illithid that you guys killed. She took that one off of him. And then there was another one that Pogo found off of one of the Illithid there that he threw to Ozzy's arcane ghost, and then Ozzy disappeared with it. So anyways, after all of that, the group here, though, the Isoquendai, Therese, guys, we need to get back. This is still, dangerous enough here. I don't want this place falling in on us. But is there anything you need from us before we make our way back to the city? We're not stopping in Termos. We're making our way all the way to Merethalis. So, do you want to accompany us? Where are you heading? What is your plan?
We're just gonna go back the way we came, right? We're not going through the poisonous water, right?
No, we'll be going out presumably the same way you did. We didn't come in the same way, but Launder's his head's kind of down a little bit because he's clear that he recognized that she was not including him, obviously, in the that they would be heading back to Merethalis.
But I think we need to probably make sure our friend here gets back to his house, and then we can join you on the. I'm sorry, we can probably. I'm gonna come back. I can't hear anything anyone's saying.
Ben, roll a d12 for me.
Okay.
I don't know why.
Everybody roll a perception check for me, too. Everybody else?
Oh, whew. All right.
Oh, I turned off about face, too, so you guys will have to manually adjust your facing in the meantime until that gets fixed.
All right.
You said it's got 2
Perception
helix
is
on
what?
it?
Sorry. Well, it's the cylinder that goes down the center, and then there's one spiral that goes around the outside. So not a double helix, just a single helix, like a Caudica staff.
So,
Shit.
I'm thinking we need to go and make sure our big friend here, Lander, we gotta get him back home safe, and then we can join you in the city. I feel more confident now that we don't have 2 different groups of random elves and former elves trying to attack us in different areas. So
I'm still an elf.
well, you're saying okay, you're an elf. I mean,
These are my people. They may not see me as one anymore, but they're
sure. Well, it's good that you're not attacking us, and it's good that they're not attacking us, so I think we can all probably get back to the
He
city.
snarls, like, angrily.
Oh, I'm sorry that I didn't mean to offend you. I'm 3 feet tall. The world looks very different to me compared to how it looks to you. It's not quite as we have more gray areas in our discussion. I'm gonna go over here now.
Give me a flat charisma check on Pogo. Pogo rolled a perception. Arteme did. Norok and just Arteme or just Fox. God damn it! Just Sarah. Roll a perception check, please.
Sorry, it was being a little slow, so it took me a while to write that in.
You're fine. Launder kind of, you hear him kind of breathe, sigh out like a deep, release a deep breath, and he kind of reaches out as you're walking away, kind of pats you on the head a little bit. It's clearly a forgiveness thing.
Right. Do you guys think we'll be able to make it from that town back to the main city? All right? Do you guys do you think we'll be all right? I feel pretty confident we can at least get back to their village.
Damn.
And you're not going to attack us on the way back or anything, correct? Talking to the elves? Talking to the elvish-looking elves? I'm not saying that out loud.
Oh my gosh.
They know who I'm talking to.
Please stop putting your foot down your throat, please.
I'm looking
Okay.
at them.
Stop.
So this is more for DM knowledge. I'm talking to
putting
that
his foot in his mouth is like Pogo's thing, though. That's what he does.
Yeah, but this is just like burying his leg down his throat at this point.
Go talk to that one.
There you go. Therese, looking like kind of, is taken aback a little bit. Why would we attack you? But Pogo having this conversation with Therese and the Isoquendai is not as focused and paying so much attention. But both Arteme and Sarah, something is really wrong with Norok. He is scratching incessantly. Like, he can't stop scratching around his torso, like his midsection and his back. He just is scratching constantly and won't stop. Ben, you take 12 acid damage. If you want to apply that to yourself, do you know how to do it? Do you remember how to do that?
Yeah.
Okay.
Hey, big guy, you doing okay over there?
No, I think the son of a bitch had something in his tentacles. Because remember, he picked me up, just throwing me around. Where he grabbed me at, skin looks all funny and shit. And I'll lift my tunic up and show him. At least by the art, I was assuming you weren't wearing a tunic, actually. By the art and the general, Goliath, especially in, a hot regions, because since you're cold folk, like the jungle here. No, that's just my cape. I'm sorry. Yeah,
that's just your cape. As far as on the token there, where he kind of turns and shows you the midsection, it is like it's red in places, and then in other places it looks like slimy and clammy and almost translucent. Like you can see the veins beneath the skin and everything. And it's for Norok though, it's like burning hot, and you're beginning to have trouble breathing as well. I would put it to you this way: that Yogg have 4 lungs, and if it weren't for that, you feel like you would be choking already.
Could someone heal him with something? Who's
Heal
I don't really have any.
Launder jumps over. What's I don't
Look at his back. He got some weird STD from this giant ocean creature. It's hurting him.
But and he's you see him kind of helplessly holding his hands up. I used everything.
I'm gonna use lesser restoration on them.
Some dirt on it.
Do you even have any spell slots left? You guys were.
Yeah, I
really
have
savage.
1 level 2 spell left.
After all that, between you guys, for real. Okay, Fox has 2 total spell slots left. I think Sarah had 0. Pogo, you might have had 1. I think something like that.
Okay, I cast lesser restoration on them.
Okay, that is touch. All right, so you reach out to the kind of slimy-looking, semi-translucent flesh, and touch the skin. As soon as you do, your fingers, like, you can feel the heat coming off of him, like it's like touching fever. Somebody that's burning up from fever. But you expend the natural energy through it, and it doesn't seem like it's responded. If anything, the spot where you touched, like Norok, you immediately feel like a stabbing pain just in the tiny spot that she touched.
We better get him out of here quick and to a doctor. do you guys have some good doctors in your city? Do we have enough time? How far is it to get to the main city?
Marethel? Yeah, there's doctors, but that's days away.
Let's get him back to the other Launder. Do you think there's someone else that can help him if we get him back to your town?
I mean, that's me, but I mean, I've used everything I can. I won't be able to even really assess this until sleeping tomorrow.
Maybe we should get him at least out of this area. Can you walk?
Yeah, get him as far away from here as possible.
Don't touch his back. It's gross.
It's burning hot, G, and it's starting to feel like the skin is cracking.
Okay.
We should go. We need to get out of here. If we can at least get him back to Termos, maybe we can, I don't know, find out what the problem is. He looks at Sanwei. Sanwei, do you have... She kind of just shakes her head.
I'm gonna hand Arteme my Pearl of Power. Use this. I want it back when you're done. It'll give you a 3rd level spell slot, or well, up to a 3rd level spell slot.
Doesn't work that way. First, it requires.
Well, it'll only take an hour. It's better than an entire day.
Yeah, that's fair.
Hey.
Well, did Lesnar Restoration do anything?
No, not that you could tell.
I don't really have anything else.
Did it seem like it was the physical touch that burned, or was it the trying to use magic that burned? Would I be able to tell? You said it hurt where she touched
from her where she tried to touch you. It was the touch. It was where her fingers touched you. That's where it burned. Yeah. But the skin, you can. It feels like there must have been mucus or something.
Well, we can't wash it off with the poison water, can we?
Yeah, no.
No, but I'm
sure
I've got a water skin.
Sure. Try to wash it off.
Launder was reaching for the same thing. It looks like he was reaching for his water skin. Are you going to try to pour water on it?
Do you want me to? I'm asking.
Try.
Don't ask me.
You think water feel good?
Well,
in your mind, you assume it would probably hurt because any touch hurts. What do you?
Yeah, well, give it a try anyway, and just get ready.
Go ahead and roll another d12, G. I'm going to tell it to you this way. It's actually every 10 minutes, but you guys have been talking for about 20 by now, so the first 10 would have actually happened a little bit ago. So another minus 11, G. Acid damage.
You're making it stop scratching your back.
As you were still just constantly...
Does it look like he's the one hurting himself by scratching himself?
No, it looks like the skin is converting and something's happening to the skin. It's like it's beginning to slough off like a little bit, like it's coming, like he's peeling up skin. Not, digging holes in himself, but peeling up skin, like the way you peeling off skin from a sunburn kind of thing, like thin layers. But the skin is becoming slimy and clay, like almost like the flesh of the warrior itself. That's what it looks like. Ben, you feel like there must have been some kind of a mucus or something on those tentacles that where it touched is where this is beginning to be the problem. But as you're still scratching away at this, now having taken 23 damage from it just in the last 20 minutes, you are pulling away at it, and it's just hurts constantly, and you just can't stop scratching at it. But where Sarah pours water on it, the moment she pours the water on it, you expect it to you kind of just tightening your abs, trying to be prepared for what you expect to hurt, and then immediately it's almost like you just took in a deep breath all of a sudden, because you've been choking a little bit too, like struggling to breathe. But as soon as she pours the water over it, it feels normal for just a moment. And it slowly starts to build back up, and it's not excruciating, at least for a moment. When you poured water on it, you got like a full deep breath, you could breathe again, and you feel like you're okay for a few minutes at least.
Okay. I have one spell slot left. Would I be able to use my 4th level spell for a 2nd level spell?
Your 4th level spell slot for a 2nd level spell?
Yes.
Yeah, you can upcast spells, yeah.
Okay, I'm going to try Protect from Poison then.
Okay. Go ahead and click the thing on it, because I don't remember how that spell works offhand. In fact, I don't know that I've ever seen anybody ever use... you don't... Oh, you do have that prepared. Shit. Whoever prepares protection from poison, jeez.
Super random.
We were going somewhere with poisonous water. Hello?
Absolutely makes sense. I just could. I've never seen anybody like think to.
I've never even heard of that spell. Like
Yeah.
I've never even.
I read my spells. I'm very
Absolutely.
prepared for most things,
Yeah.
and unless I like forget something or forget to change them, which I do often actually.
Let's
when we
go
take a
on
rest.
a timetable. Come on. Trying to fix the big man.
Well, you reach out, and Norok, where she touches this time, it almost feels like she's just touching normally, like it almost just feels like normal skin for a moment. And you feel the energy pass through the wound, and if anything, if you like, jump off of something too high, and you feel that like when your feet hit the ground, that kind of impact where you can feel every blood vessel shock. Do you know what I'm talking about?
Yeah.
That impact, you feel like it pulls through your veins, and it feels better for just a moment, and still it starts to ramp back up.
Okay.
It may have lessened slightly, you don't know, but at least for now, it does feel slightly better, but it doesn't feel like it's fixed.
Do you guys have any magical way of getting him back to the main city, or are you guys just gonna walk?
I'm afraid we're skirmishers. We're not arcanists.
Guys, remind me, but to make that magical circle, we can't do that as depleted as we are, right? We just can we talk while we walk, guys? Maybe we should start walking to get out of here as soon as we
Yeah.
can.
Well, we
Launder-
have to go.
Yeah, that's a good
we
idea.
need let's get moving. Sandway, Therese, it was nice seeing you. I certainly hope that maybe we'll see each other in the city again. And he just turns and starts to leave.
Can I have, if anyone has extra water, can I have it so we can put it on his back, please?
Launder turns and throws you his water skin. He was already pulling it
we're
out.
going
Actually,
with you, Launder. The other people here. Anyone have water? We need some water on his back.
Sandway is digging through her bag. She flips it, a backpack. She flips it around in front from under her cloak. Here, and she hands you quite a good sized water skin.
Okay, come on. Let's pour this on his back and keep it nice and moist. Which is
It doesn't feel like it's hurting yet,
all right.
Norok.
As
So I'm
soon
going to tell
as it
you.
hurts-
Yeah, Ben, I'll go ahead and tell everybody, but so that everybody's aware. If Ben, you feel like as long as it's every few minutes, at least maybe up to 10 minutes at the most, if you don't have water, touching the wound, submerging the kind of affected area in water every 10 minutes, then you're going to take a D12 of damage every time. Actually, I will tell you too, that actually because of the protection from poison, that it would have reduced it a little bit. It'll probably be like a D10, maybe even a D8.
So let's do this. Let's keep going, and when you feel like it starts to hurt, Norok, just let us know, and we'll put some more water on your back.
You're still itching like nonstop, though. It's still
Stop
it's still
itching your fucking back. Just hold on to your axe. Grip it.
Well, his axe is on his back anyway, so.
Just hold your
basically-
axe with your 2 hands.
Oji?
It's gonna be like on a The Simpsons or any cartoon where they're trying to transport a whale for some reason, like on a cart, and they're just pouring water on top of it. That somehow keeps it alive. That's what
Trust
we're
me,
doing.
I
basically.
already
You pretty
thought-
much, you got to keep the skin wet. Yeah, keep the
I
skin from drying.
definitely already thought about that, and I can't think of any way to move your giant ass in a cart with your back submerged in water.
So I'm gonna have to walk. All
Come
right,
on,
guys.
let's keep going.
go.
Let's go.
Ah! Wasn't paying
Yeah.
attention to the map. Huh.
If you, in Norok, Launder shouts back, Norok, I mean, if you don't have any trouble walking, right? I mean, I don't mind giving you a shoulder. I can't carry you, but I can at least help take some of the weight off.
I'm all right for now. It just hurts like a son of a bitch, but I can still walk.
All right, well, let's go. Yes, so Quendai.
Double
Well,
time
Therese,
it.
as you're leaving, we'll follow behind.
Let's double time it.
Do. All right, I'm gonna go ahead. I'll move us over to the other one. Assuming you guys, nothing else you guys are doing here at the temple, right?
I'm fine.
Oh,
I don't think so. I think we looted everything we could.
Well, you do have to wade through dozens and dozens of crabmen
bodies
and
from that
Twagan
other-
and all the Marathosians, all of the shit that you killed in that, all of the kind of. There's probably 40 or so bodies.
Because I
What's
remember we didn't kill them all. There were more coming. The ones that weren't dead, have they been transformed back, or are they just dead bodies now?
What do you mean transformed back?
Are they no longer under control? Like, are they back to living creatures, or were they dead to begin with? As of like
all of the ones that were here in the main part of the temple, you did kill all of those.
Okay.
The ones that there were more that were in the waves that were just staring up every time that the waves would be, that the wave would come up and you could see, through it. You could see thousands of eyes in there. But those came out, or at least the ones that that were going to be during the fight with the warrior. So it seems the rest either have maybe regained control of their faculties, but they did not attack you at least.
No longer care. Just keep going.
So you make your way up through the entrance to the temple, and then out into that long tunnel that is covered in that coral. Remember where you kept putting down tables and shit, trying to make your way through. As you're walking through there, Launder is kind of carefully. He's just looking over his shoulder constantly. He's leading the way, but looking over his shoulder back at you guys constantly. Making sure that you guys are still moving along, of course. And he says it no longer whispers. I know this is risky, but I have to try. And you see him reach his hand out towards it, and he touches it. And
I'm gonna lick it.
He touches.
Is it like rock candy now?
It is dusty and dry and very abrasive, like
terrible.
Like the consistency of a cat's tongue. I'm
gonna break a chunk off and I'm gonna throw it in my bag as we're walking.
It breaks off easily. He says, "There's no light." Launder says, "There's no life left in it." It seems like now that it's died, we can just break it down. We'll be able to, turn it into dust and crumble it. And if it weren't for the suffering that it brought, it almost seems silly now to be afraid of this stuff." And he keeps kind of pushing his way down the tunnel.
Yeah, silly. Is the ghost man with the big chili still there?
Well, as soon as you make it out through the entrance to the tunnel, the cauldron is still there, and it's almost like still kind of swirling a little bit, like the ladle was still moving it essentially, but there's the giant guy is not there anymore.
I'm gonna go up to the ladle and pull it out of the thing and throw it on the ground. Keep walking.
Well, when you pull the ladle up out of there, there are chunks, bits of chunks in there that definitely resemble bits of brain.
Oh, take that ladle! Throw it on the ground.
You toss that out. Then you guys make your way past the giant cauldron where you guys had to take those tiny little orbs and put them in the 8 different little statuettes around the outside of it, where the brain is. Remember the giant? You guys know what I'm talking about?
And as we get around that corner, I'm going to be like, Launder, again, I'm very sorry for the thing I did around the corner. I apologize. We can fix that later.
Look, at the time, I said maybe I'm just letting things slide now because I'm just elated that the trouble has been dealt with. It's okay. And he kind of just reaches over and pats you on the head. I forgive you for it. I understand it was all for the greater good. As hard as that was to understand at the time, it's we'll be able to repair that. We wouldn't have been able to do so if our whole society collapsed. And he kind of turns as you guys are still walking along. Norok, it's coming up about that. It take you a while to get through that tunnel. So
quick, get him wet. Someone.
Can I get some water, guys? Thank you.
Okay. All right. Then you guys pour out some more from the water skin. You feel like that water skin will probably get you through half a day, maybe. With enough applications for it. It was a good-sized water skin that Sandway gave. As you guys are making your way out to the bay section, where you guys had to, where that temple is, essentially, and carefully jumping your way across, making your way around that to get to the rope to get back up. Launder says, apologies, friends, for my hesitations back there. I was never the brave sort, even before the sky tried to swallow the world, but all of this was just too much for me. So, I'm sorry that I wasn't help. Yeah, but now I feel helpless that, he's suffering through this and I don't have any means of, alleviating that. And now I feel like I didn't do enough.
Well, hopefully if we can get him back into town, that chorus will do something for him.
Yeah, it couldn't hurt. So, and you guys, at this point, you make your way to the bottom of that tunnel where those worms had made the tunnel. You remember the one that Norok almost fell down into? Mm-hmm. I didn't put this map in here, so hopefully you guys remember this.
Fuck. Are you good enough to climb up that rope? You gonna be all right to climb up that rope, big guy?
Should probably be okay.
You're itching constantly, G, so that might be tough for you because you're gonna have to hold both hands on the rope to lift yourself up without itching constantly. Now remember, you barely fit down it though. Like your shoulders are almost as like there's probably only a spare 4 inches on either end, around you. For the circumference of the hole versus your shoulders, to be able to fit through it.
Stop playing my banjo. Let's see here. All right, we
Right
ready to
now-
climb up?
Did I?
Who can fly? Two of us can fly, and maybe we can help pull the big man up, since he's clearly in some pain.
Well, I should probably stay on the bottom just in case somebody falls. Since I still have the Pearl of Power, I can still use Feather Fall.
You can't use that from the top?
But I have to be 30 feet from
Oh.
them, I think.
Right.
So it would be better if I stayed down.
Yeah.
Let's see. All right,
I can fly you up first.
you know
and then
what?
come
Is
back
there
down.
still blood on the ground from that giant worm?
The corpse is still like blocking the entrance up to this. Like you had to climb basically around it to be able to get to the tunnel.
You guys figure something out. Maybe I can at least help for the top 30 feet.
Launder kind of looking around. I mean, one of us is going to have to go first. If there's nothing helpful down here that you guys can think, that would be useful for me to do, I'll go ahead and climb my way up real quick so that it's out of the way, and then we don't have to wait for me at least. Is there anything down here you need me to do first?
Don't think so.
I'm gonna collect some blood from the big dead body in my blood jar.
Okay.
And I'm wondering, so the way that Vine usually works is it pulls things towards it if they get within 20 feet. Can I make it pull like anyone that distance? So like if I'm at the top, I can at least pull them the last 20 feet with my Vine?
Here's the thing. The vine itself isn't like it's not
Not like
ethereal.
controllable.
Well, no, it's not just it's less about that than it is that the vine itself has its own circumference, its own physical shape.
Mhm.
For it to be able to wrap around Norok's waist, it won't be able to get past his shoulders. Because, like I
Okay.
said, if there's only a tiny gap between his shoulders and the wall, the vine wouldn't be able to get around that and grasp around him, if that makes sense. Is that fair? That makes sense, right?
Yes.
Yeah.
Because he barely fits in there as it is. It doesn't mean you guys can't try. He can definitely try to climb. He just will have, a harder time of it because he's going to be having to resist scratching.
I mean, we still have a rope. So, let's see.
Launder
I
scrambles through the
can-
tunnel and makes his way up.
So I have technically one new spell that I've been thinking about trying here. How big is a huge object?
What is, I guess, what do you have a spell? Well,
I have that worm is, now that it's dead, can we consider it just an inanimate object?
that's fair, sure.
So if it's huge, I would, because it's in the ground further, I would like, yeah, fuck it, I'm just gonna do it. I've got this new spell I want to try out. Let's see if this works. And I'm gonna use.
Okay, so in the case of animate object, I see what you're trying for. First of all, you can't anyways. So.
Oh, I can't. Is it because I don't have it yet, or?
Well, no, you guys leveled up. You have the competence for that arcane ability. You don't have the spell slot for it.
Okay, got it. I need to sleep for the spell slot. All right,
Exactly,
I wasn't
yeah.
curious how that works exactly.
That's totally fair. I totally understand that. Yeah, but yeah, you did
We're gonna make a worm to push us all the way to the top.
That's what you were going for. You're gonna try to get it to animate to push you.
Yeah.
That is the hole that it made, by the way. So I mean, it would fit,
Yeah.
but you're gonna try to have it like go.
We were gonna
upward.
use him like an elevator and animate one huge
I love-
object all the way to the top.
I love the idea.
All right.
I'm still not sure what we're gonna do for inspiration. I kinda wanna
Let
give
me
you
just,
inspiration
I'm just
for
gonna turn this giant worm into an elevator. And then nothing happens. Oh, well, that didn't work. All right, guys, let's climb. Let's get up here. Me and, do you mind if you drop me off at the top with the broom real quick and then I'll help pull it up?
I can do that.
I think we can probably get most people up there with this broom.
Launder's
Well-
made his way all the way to the top, and he's dropped another rope down. So there's 2 ropes down there.
Cool. Let's get as many people up top and then tie you, big man, and then since you're so big, you use your giant mitts to climb up the the hole here while we pull you with the rope, so you don't have to do that. And I'm gonna just get him done before his back dries out.
It's about that time again, G.
Yeah, pour some water on him.
Right. Yeah, I'll
Keep
ask.
him moist.
Thanks, guys.
Make sure you get the blowhole. All right, what's the plan?
All right, so I'll take Pogo up on the broom and then go back down and get Artemis.
Okay. All right. Then you, Pogo, you hop onto the broom with Sarah. Sarah, you kind of have to angle it very awkwardly, of course, aiming straight up. Both of you give me we'll just call it sleight of hand, really, for just holding on to the broom for the kind of awkward motion to go up. Not really athletics, of course. I guess holding on maybe. I'll let you choose, whichever one you prefer. You both make it up to the top just fine. Pogo and Sarah, as soon as you guys come up through the hole up into the top, it is still lit by essentially just candlelight in the basement of what was Olowin's house, Olowin and Romanath. You guys remember, of course, that's where the hole came out at. It's still a bloody massacre up there. There's still two headless bodies of disgusting Marathosian hags that Pogo cut the heads off of. It is a disgusting mess. Smells terrible, but you come out into the basement there. Sarah, you're able to drop him off. You see that Launder has tied another rope around that same pillar that you had tied the original one to, and that's the one he has dropped down. How's he doing? Is he okay?
As good as it can be, I guess.
You need to tie a rope around him, and then we're all going to pull while Norak climbs up. I think he's probably the hardest one to get up here.
I'm going to head back down for Artemis.
Okay. Give me a wisdom save on the way down.
Oh, man.
You're the one that made this character.
I'm gonna turn around, and I'm also gonna scream. Excuse me, are there any lasses upstairs that is anyone home?
I'm not sure who you're calling for, but there's still no answer.
I'm calling for the girl that may have ran away, or turned into a worm, or fell into the water, or died. Olwyn, yeah. Yeah,
you didn't get enough details as far as, Fox or Artemis didn't tell you more than just that she left.
Sure.
But you don't know where necessarily. But there's no response.
I don't either.
Quick question about...
That's true. What's that?
So this Pearl of Power, it says it's up to a 3rd level slot. Can I use it for 2 first level slots? Or 3 first level slots?
Click the thing for me. And when if it does expend the usage of it, if you mouse over, most of the times with the numbered fields, when you mouse over it and it lights up blue, if you use your mouse wheel, it'll go up and down also by increments of 1. So you could just mouse. If you click the Pearl of Power and it uses the usage of it, because I just want to see the details on it, then you just mouse over it and use your mouse wheel, and it'll put it back.
Bring it up.
There it is. All right. The action to speak command word. So your action actually is to regain the spell slot, so you can't do both in the same action, so keep that in mind. So you would use the Pearl and then 6 seconds later be able to use your action to cast a spell, if that makes sense.
Okay.
But if it's 4th level or higher, it's only 3rd level. No, it's 1 spell slot of up to 3rd level is how it works. Once per day.
Great. And I don't think Featherfall does anything at 3rd level. I don't think it does anything extra.
What? It helps terrible up here?
I found a English to Scottish slang translator.
I don't know what helps is supposed to
apparently it smells. But, yeah. It's terrible up here.
Okay. Yeah, so the Featherfall... so were you referring to your 15 that you rolled? What was your question? I guess what were you intending there, Becky?
Oh, for the Pearl of Power?
Well, were you asking if you could use the Pearl of Power immediately and then cast... I guess what was your...
I was asking, to get 3 Featherfalls was my thing, because it's up to a 3rd level slot.
Gotcha, yeah. No, it's only 1. Yeah, the way it's worded is just up to 3rd level 1 slot. So, I mean, technically, you probably would always want to just get it as a 3rd level and then upcast something if it has upcasting abilities. But
remember, if the people down there just wrap the rope around the body, and then between me and Launder and you presumably helping to pull yourself up, we'll probably be all right.
Launder looks at you. I mean...
yeah, I know. I'm 3 feet tall. Do my best.
You see how big he is, right? He's got to be 400 pounds.
And I'm just going to go ahead and wrap the rope around my arm a couple times. And plant my feet up against the edge of the well, like...
Well, Sarah, face down, sailing down with the broom, palms getting sweaty with the terror of not only being just in, essentially in pitch black, but going straight down and like feeling the air coming up at you. It's almost like falling very rapidly. But you make it down through the bottom of the entrance, basically this, the little elbow, and back out. Arteme and Norok, you guys see her fly out. She seems fine.
As soon as I get down there, I will use the Pearl of Power so I have a 3rd level slot, just in case someone falls.
Okay, go ahead and mark off the Pearl's usage and then give yourself back a 3rd level slot.
I think I'll start climbing up, I guess, next.
You're going to grab the rope and climb yourself up?
Fly you up?
Yeah.
Hey, if you want, you can
sure,
wrap
actually
it around
flying up
you.
would be great.
So I will...
Pogo, you're at the top, so...
I'm
I'll fly
yelling.
her up.
You guys have your stones, your pineapples, your stones of far speech, remember?
I'm
So
I'm too busy just fucking getting ready to pull something.
You can't reach one hand up to your ear to press the stone of far speech like a Bluetooth, so because you're too busy, trying to hold on to this rope.
Clearly,
the rope itself.
you've never played tug of war.
Well, I would say that I'll put it to you this way: there's 50 feet of rope that is hanging down. This hole. No, sorry, 80 feet, because wasn't it? So it's like 80 feet up, right?
If there's enough slack at the top, I would go and run around the rock with the slack so that it's not gonna. That way, I have a.
He's got Launder put a decent amount of of tension in there already. The problem is that 80 feet of rope is pretty heavy just by itself for a little pogo to try to hold on to. Like, you're struggling just to hold on to the rope, let alone with nothing on the end of it.
I'm stronger than I look.
I mean, 80 feet of rope hanging from gravity alone with an 8 strength. It's a -1 strength below average. But I mean, it's an Lona kind of reaches over and just grins at you. It's honorable that you're even making the attempt to save your friend. So I'll put every effort into to make sure we can get him out of here safely.
I'll cast a mage hand to pull the spell.
It's an extra 10 pounds. Consider it 10 pounds.
Yeah.
You've got both hands on it, and then mage hand.
3 hands, all 3 hands pulling on it.
All right, then Sarah, you're flying Arteme up.
Yep.
All right, both of you give me either sleight of hand or athletics. You can choose. Fox.
Sorry, what was that?
Roll either sleight of hand or athletics,
Sleight of hand, okay.
whichever one you prefer.
They're both +6.
Yep. All right. Both of you with Sarah driving the broom, you make it back up through the top. Arteme, you are deposited safely in the disgusting-smelling basement of Olowin and Ramanath's house. Launder kind of looks at you. We're probably going to need as much strength on this as we can. Do you think you'll be able to, help pull the rope, miss?
Sure. We'll tie it up. I'll take out like the rope we had last time and tie it up to the rock.
It already is. He pulled the rope out and tied it to. So there's basically 2 ropes hanging down into the hole that are both tied around that pillar, that same rock. But Sarah turns around and heads face first down the hole on the broom. And the bottom of that is just it's like
catch on the rock.
It's just you make it. You know what? Here, roll a percentile dice for me, Becky.
Do I see her coming down?
Okay.
No, so it's not like, remember, it goes straight down, and then there's like almost a 90-degree elbow,
right.
and then it sticks out. So unless you're like laying on your back, remember, you barely fit. So like unless you're laying on your back looking up this 80-foot tunnel, you wouldn't be able to see anything. That's awfully low. You are probably, you would estimate maybe 30 or 40 feet at the most down, maybe halfway at the very most down, and your one hand is just, you remember you're not in shadow skin anymore. Your hand is just getting too slippery just from the sweat of this height, and it slips from between your fingers and you start to fall forward. The broom slips up behind you, is now kind of stuck halfway, pinned inside the tunnel. So it's stuck basically in the tunnel as you just are falling face first towards the ground.
Can I try to grab onto the rope?
There's two of them, so go ahead and give me a dex save with disadvantage because it's dark and you're scared and plummeting. I would be disadvantaged for being one-handed anyway. So it should be double disadvantage, but
I do kind of wish double
control or shift. Control. Right.
It's control, yeah. I think, Justin, there's an alternative. There's a YouTuber that does a lot of homebrew stuff that I like, and one of them is not. It's not stacking disadvantage, but basically if you would have double disadvantage, it's disadvantage -2. If you would have triple, like basically you can still stack them on for each time as an extra -2 or +2. So double advantage would be you roll your 2 dice and then you add 2 on top of that. Does that make sense? So it's an extra 10% chance, benefit or negative, whether it's double or disadvantage or whatever. 16, you reach your hands up, not even looking, like in fact you actually kind of squinting your eyes shut just out of fear of the falling, but you kind of just grasping out with your hand, trying to just grab at the rope, and you miss, and you kind of back the repe and knock it away, and then you spin your hand forward and feel the other rope and grab your arm around it, just sinking through this as your flesh is just pulled away by the rope as you're trying to slow yourself down, just tearing through the skin until your hand is almost bare.
I am wearing gloves.
Okay, all right. In that case, with your offhand, you're wearing gloves. I know you try to wear it on your fake hand.
I had them on both, so it didn't look obvious that I was trying to cover that hand.
That's fair. So you're not Michael Jackson,
because I didn't want people to notice. Yeah.
Okay. All right. That's fair. All right. In that case, it's still gonna burn. We'll just say it's heat damage instead of pulling the flesh away. But roll 2d6 for me. Because it's pretty extreme. You were already falling at terminal velocity at this point before you can make it to the bottom. Because you're past 40 feet. If you just click remember if you left click, it'll go up. If you right click, the count will go down. So just left click until it's 2d6, or you can just type /R 2d6. That'll work too. There you go. Right,
I accidentally hit the plus on the bottom, and I was like, "That's not right."
It seems like that's how it should work, but it doesn't. I wish those things work together. There probably will be a point because those are both different. Those are 2 separate modules. So it seems like you should be able to just click the 2, for like advantage and stuff like that, but it doesn't quite work that way. But anyways, it's only 4 damage as you try to slow yourself down and are still about 15 feet up from the bottom of the hole, just hanging from the rope, arm almost pulled out of the socket.
Did someone drop their keys down there? What was that sound?
It was mostly.
Don't worry about it. I'm just gonna try to shimmy my way down.
Okay. You kick 1 foot out. The hole's only 4 feet or so around. So between kind of putting 1 foot out and just kind of slowly rappelling yourself down with one arm, you make it down through the elbow. Out there.
So I'm gonna crawl out so Norok can go up and just be like, "Hey, you want to grab my broom on the way up? I'm just gonna tie one of these ropes around me and just have you guys pull me up when we're done."
Your hand hurts real bad. Norok, it's been not quite 10 minutes, but it feels like it's going to be soon. And if you're going to start to climb...
All right, I'll ask Sarah, do you have any water on you? Actually,
I'm assuming I still have water.
You can pour it on yourself too, G. Yeah, I mean...
I'm assuming I probably...
Yeah, you have your own water skin as well, so...
Okay, yeah, then I'll douse myself.
Okay.
And then I will, again, tie the rope around, if I didn't already, around myself, and then get ready to climb.
Okay.
Yeah, grab my broom on the way.
Okay, I will. Are you okay, by the way? The hell happened to you? You fall?
No, it's fine.
All right.
Her pride was real hurt, though.
Then I'm just gonna look at her and kind of just laugh a little bit and turn around and not push the issue because she seems like she's upset. So.
All right. Then
I'm laughing for sure to myself, but
there might be some fear tears in there. You climb your way up to the clamber up to the bottom of this tunnel, and looking at it, you then realize two things. G, one, that you have to lay down flat to be able to make it around that 90-degree turn. Remember, when you first got down here, you had to lay down and like sliding through the mud almost to get out of there. Remember, and you're gonna have to do the same thing, which means laying your back against the mud and the dirt here, and also. You grab the rope and begin to go to tie it around yourself, and you look down at your midsection and realize that, oh shit, if you're going to tie the rope around the wound, that's going to be pretty painful.
I'm going to take off my cloak of billowing and wrap it around him so he can tie the rope around the cloak so it's not touching his skin.
He's got his fur cloak over his back, so, I mean, with your cloak, especially because it's not very big anyways, a little halfling cloak isn't going to be that much, fur over, or cloth over the yog, but, all right, then Sarah gives you hers so that you can try to...
Oh my god.
Yeah, thank you.
All right, then you take this very awkward, wrapped package of a cloak around the front, and then your like bare skin over your back, and tie the rope around it. It still hurts, and it's obviously going to be pretty painful if you make your way, very far up this. But you tie it around yourself as best you can, and then lay on your back and kind of shimmy your way up. The cloak, the fur is what's over your, it's over your back. So when you're moving, it's still around your neck and everything. And you're able to kind of shimmy your way up to the base of the tunnel. Looking up, that is a really long way, and that is going to be very difficult to not itch for the amount of time that it's going to take you to climb up that far. So your climbing speed, G, is 20 feet for 6 seconds. That means you need to make it up without falling at all, without any failure or slowdowns or anything like that. You need to make it for probably at least 45 seconds without itching, and you've been nonstop itching ever since you got out of the water.
All right. Well, knowing that I have to, knowing that I have to climb, then I will rage. So that way, hopefully, I can stop fall because I don't want to do that. So, and obviously, Norak knows that he can, do physical stuff better when he's pissed off for some very strange reason. All right, he can climb better and doesn't get hurt as much. So, all
right. Well, standing up straight at the base of the tunnel here, you kind of smack yourself a couple times. One each side, or one side of the face, and smack yourself on the other side of the face. Just kind of breathing as heavily as you can. Your nostrils start to flare, and you start to rage climb as best as you can. It's going to be, we'll call it one athletics check with disadvantage. Actually, you know what? I don't think the athletics is even really the problem here. It's more going to be a mental thing than it is a physical thing.
He can't just scratch his back on the fucking wall as he's climbing up, banner style.
He's probably going to anyway. So
it's not. I mean, you can try, sure, but remember the sides of the walls are pretty smooth. Like it's not. It's not a perfect cylinder, but it's pretty smooth in that it's not rock. It's just dirt that the worm had tunneled its way through. So there isn't much to kind of use to scratch your back with, especially when it's wrapped in a fur cloak and then a soft halfling cloak on the front. So what we'll do, G, is we're going to make it. It's going to be a wisdom save. I'll let you choose either wisdom save or check for each round on the way up, and it's going to be 4 rounds. So we'll just start with the first one.
Oh, and I'm sitting at the bottom waiting to cast Featherfall if I have to.
All right.
When he's within range.
Okay. You just start clambering up, elbow over elbow, the motion of each time you move your arm over the other and start lifting yourself up every few feet. The cloaks on both the front and the back are like rubbing against it, and it's just driving you insane. You keep kind of pulling your way up as far as you can, but feeling the cloth brush against this. And now that the water is, because you just doused yourself with it, the water is sticking to the cloak, and that's making it itch more because it's just in constant contact. You've made it up. You feel probably about 20, 23 feet, maybe somewhere there about. Go ahead and give me another check.
While he's climbing, I'm just going to be like, Pineapple, hey, you guys might want to start pulling on that rope now. He's coming up.
Okay. There's I'm going to assume that Pogo is going to try here. There is a gritted teeth, semi-bad Scottish accent halfling sound coming through. I'm doing all I can. That he shouts down at you through the pineapple. Norak still just elbow over elbow. You've made it around a bend where it kind of juts out to one side that maybe the worm had gotten around a rock or something, where it's not a perfect straight down. And when you bump your way around that, your elbow smacks against the side and forces your elbow against your side, like down to your midsection, and brushes it, and it's just enraging. It's impossible to ignore, but you shrug it off and continue lifting up. Go ahead and give me another one. Okay. You keep pulling with all your might, just lifting as best you can. You start using your feet to kind of hold yourself up a little bit. You can't really let go of the rope, but you kind of cheat almost, and you put one foot against each side where it feels like the wall will hold in place long enough for you to at least have just a brief second, and you just slide your hand down to where you're just kind of holding the rope with your right hand down to your midsection, so that you can kind of just scratch at your belly a little bit while you're holding the rope and holding onto the with your feet against the walls, trying to hold yourself in place, kind of like a kid in a hallway where you put one foot on another wall type of thing, and just scratch while you're holding the rope, and then start resuming your rope over rope or hand over hand rope. Go ahead and give me the last one. You're almost there. Ah, damn. I was hoping for like anything under 10 would have been fine, but you just making it up. You can see the light up above you. You can hear Pogo grunting with all this exertion, along with the kind of growls coming in from behind him. And you lift your way up to the top of the edge, where you can finally throw one elbow out over the edge, like onto the rock, or the dirt around you, and lift up, throw your other elbow up, and start to kind of pull yourself forward, being careful not to rub your stomach against the side of the thing. But your arms are just burning, obviously, with the exertion necessary to climb this up. Anyways, but you pull yourself up and just kind of push up off the ground to keep from any further contact with your stomach. Just kind of lean forward, careful not to fall over. But you guys see Norok out.
Is your back moist enough? Do you need us to moisten it up a little bit?
Yeah, sure. Thanks. And thanks for pulling me up, guys.
The cloak, both of them, the front and the back, especially now with the sweat too, is just burning against your skin. Your fur cloak and Sarah's cloak.
I'll take them off.
Okay. Sarah, the rope stops jiggling. Down at the bottom, the rope, you were seeing it kind of sway back and forth as he was climbing up, but both ropes down at the bottom are not moving anymore.
Right, so I'm going to tie one around my mouth and just hold on and be like, all right, pull me up.
Okay. I'll say, all right, then I'll grab it and I'll pull.
Not even going to try to put any effort in, just let you be towed up. It's funny,
Nope.
We literally did that. The same thing. We had a halfling that we pulled up with ropes.
I nearly fell to my death. I ain't doing shit.
Right. Launder then, he's clearly like exhausted and breathing heavy, but he kind of waves Norok, you stand up, like you're going to try to help, and he just kind of waves you away, and he starts pulling end over end, pulling the rope up to get Sarah all the way up.
By the way, Sarah's wiping tears as they're pulling her up, trying to make herself look as composed as she can.
You know what I forgot, actually? On your way up, Norok, you did bump into a broom. You couldn't really hold on to it while also grabbing, while lifting yourself up, but you bumped through it. Sarah, while you were at the bottom, you hear the broom clank, 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 and then smack against the bottom of the hole.
All right, well, I would have grabbed it then. And
okay.
Put it over my shoulder.
Back. Sure. And Launder,
taking the rope up.
His was only a +1. Okay, he's still. It's slow going. Norok managed to make it up there in 45 seconds, but you're probably 4 or 5 minutes before you make it up to the top. But you do finally make it up to the surface. Oh,
plenty of time to get myself under control.
I didn't even it was so impossible for Pogo to even help at all. I just didn't even bother having him roll. I should have had to, see if he could have some catastrophic failure where he accidentally trips Launder and Launder falls down or something. But other than that, he would not have been able to help very much anyway. So, but a valiant effort nonetheless. You have all made it to the top of the into the basement, though, to the top of the tunnel. Looking down, you never, and Norok, both you and Sarah were down there the longest time. You never saw the elves show up. But the rest of you are now in the basement. Launder's he leans over, claws, hands on his knees, basically just panting heavily, tongue kind of lolling out of his dog mouth. Can we... How are you okay for a minute? Can we just take a breath for a minute?
take a breath for like 5 minutes, but we don't have that much more time. Are you okay?
5 minutes will be fine. I just need to catch my breath.
I'm gonna put a bit more water on Norik's back.
Okay.
Thank you.
Then, I mean, if you guys aren't doing anything else for that time, though, he kind of stands back up, kind of stretches his shoulders. It's clear that, remember, he walked with a limp this entire time.
Is there any more areas in here that might have water? Are there any water things that I can find? Any more clean water things, maybe in the house?
So indoor plumbing's like not a thing. So,
but I don't know. Maybe
if they had like a ewer water somewhere,
also drink water.
Was there a well outside?
Well, yes.
Remember, there might be these fucking crazy
the eel hounds are out there, yeah, and they clearly have water coming from somewhere. But they are like, did you ever even actually see those things? I remember I showed you the image of what they look like.
No, we didn't. I think Pogo wanted one as a pet, and we said no because we didn't know what they ate, and we just said we'd leave them be.
Yeah.
We have a decent understanding that we think they eat dogs. So.
Well, considering that you have Shan and Sai, both are canine as well, technically vulpine and canine, but both dog-like, and Launder, who's kind of dog-like.
I'm not so worried about them eating Shan.
That's fair.
Yeah,
you'll probably take care of herself. All right.
Did we see any carts or anything like that up at the top before?
Well, around the house, like on the road. Where do you mean?
Like on the road, yeah. I remember we walked here. We didn't ride.
You've walked here twice.
Yeah.
You've walked here and then back to Termos and then back again.
Yeah.
And I think that's it. Yeah. So you walked that road 3 times already.
We're not staying here for more than 10 minutes, right? We're still gonna go. We don't have an infinite amount of water.
No, we're
gonna go.
To be honest, I don't know that I would trust water here yet. Anyways, it's gonna take time before it's purified. All right, on we go then. And he kind of turns and makes his way towards the stairs and limping his way up the stairs. Out through the basement. You guys all heading out?
Yep.
Okay. Yeah. At the top of the stairs, remember the coral when it got to this house became vine-like almost, like vessels, almost like blood vessels. And they are, as you're kind of stepping on them, you can't really avoid stepping on them as you're going down the stairs. They are like crunching under feet. They're almost like dry leaves at this point, like long dead vines, basically. But you make your way to the top of the stairs and out the front of the house, unless there's anything else you're doing there. You make your way out the front. There is still you can tell there's still things alive in the bushes. But
quickly past them. Just quick past them. Same way we went before.
Launder kind of snarls.
Be quiet.
Well, as you guys are making your way down the steps off of the front, like balcony or the front porch area, Launder kind of snarls loudly in the direction of the bushes, and the watery slipping sounds, the ones that I was playing for you before, those stop, and he kind of just keeps walking along. They're still in there at the top. Well, I mean, it's a bigger dog growling at a smaller dog, essentially. Those things are eel hounds, is what they were called. They're dog-like. Making your way out and heading to the road.
Wait, if they're dog-like and they eat dogs, wouldn't that make them cannibals?
I never told you they ate dogs. You guys said that. I didn't say that at all. You guys made up some dumb story about them eating it. I think it was a side joke, but I thought it was.
Okay, so that was just a joke. Gotcha.
I thought so. I don't know. That's what I assumed it was.
That's what Pogo thought happened. He thought there was a dog, and then he thought the dog got eaten.
Oh, okay, that makes sense. I completely forgot about that. I didn't know where that came from.
What do you want an eaten dag for?
Was that the Scottish word for spell?
What do you get a dag for? A dag I eat them, but I already eat them at bushes.
All right, you guys.
We need some running music.
You make your way out towards the road. That is a lot lower res than I thought it was. And I didn't put any of the effects thingy on here. Not that it matters, but we'll do those, and that'll do. Those are way too big. What is that?
That's just Pogo playing a running song.
Oh, that's you. I thought that was Ben, because Ben was lit up too. A running song. That is way too many.
We're going, guys.
forgot to have the little effect on this one. There we go. Anyways, you make your way out to the road, though. You know, far enough away from the house that you are kind of beginning the 3 hours, 4 hours, half a day's trek of walking to make your way back. Did somebody have to reload?
Yeah, I did.
Okay. Also,
It's saying I don't have a token, so nothing's showing up.
Yeah, no token. This one is
I forgot to do that on this one. I think is it global illumination? No. Which one is I need to put on here?
It's whatever one where the wording sounds like it's backwards of what it's supposed to be, I think.
There we
go. Neat.
I do it?
Yeah.
Yeah.
All right.
Yep.
All right. Making your way out to the road, though, and starting to make your way south. But it's really dark over here. Is it super dark to you guys?
Yeah, so go to the map settings and then move the thing all the way to the left, maybe? The global illumination scale?
Well, global illumination is on, and the darkness level is off. Like darkness
global illumination...
Turn off global illumination, actually. Token, there we go.
Token illumination.
Once I put my token on, it's brighter.
Yeah, because that's what your token can see.
I'm going to turn off the token vision, though, and then it wouldn't matter. And it should be the same for everybody.
There it is.
Now it should be the same, right? It's nice and clear now. Okay, all right. There we go, then. You guys, though, making your way, trying to kind of kill time every few minutes, of course, having to douse Norok again. Launder's slowed down a little bit. You know, his pace was never very fast anyways. G, can you move your mic or something, G?
Yeah, sorry.
He's never fast, especially with his limp anyways. But he's kind of trying to awkwardly make small talk while, kind of side glancing over at Norok, constantly checking his midsection.
How long, out of curiosity, how long has your forest been having little weird globule plant babies?
9 years.
Are those dangerous? We've been trying to destroy some of them because they moved.
Oh, you mean the white fruits?
Yeah.
What are you doing, G? Ben?
Can you hear me?
Yeah, it's just background noise. It sounds like traffic or something almost. I can't tell what it is. It disappears. Oh, is it? Okay, is it a fan? Well, it's fucking 103 or something here right now, so I can't really blame you for that because up there anyways. Well, I guess it's not quite as hot, but still. Anyways, yeah, the fruits, yeah, when the vine lash came through, it really messed things up.
Like fruits, you say fruits, like you can eat those?
I would not recommend it. I mean, some people like, eating bugs of different types. I mean, maybe it'd be a delicacy to you. Where you're from, do you eat those squiggly things? Because what's in those fruits that's like that?
I'm going to grab one. I'm going to put it in my pack. I'm going to tear it off the plant.
All right. Well, they're regular enough that you can see them pretty frequently as you're walking along. You reach out to grab one.
Oh, by the way, I picked up my cloak, but I put it...
You could, there you put it what? Becky? Yellow?
I don't hear it either.
Oh, try again, Becky.
God damn it.
There you go. Now we can hear you.
God damn it.
Oh, maybe not. We heard God damn it. So.
Nope.
Yep.
I heard half of hello, I think. Try again. We can't hear any of the useful stuff. All we can hear is the checks to see whether we can hear you or not.
A bunch of swear words.
Mother.
Motherfucker. Perfect timing. All right, try one more time. I heard you giggle, so I think that's it. What'd you say?
Can you hear?
All right, we'll have that. Yep.
You cut out. We heard can you, and then nothing.
What is your Discord
I'm
show?
gonna reload everything.
Okay.
It's green.
Okay. Well, you sound fine now.
Yeah,
Maybe
you sound okay now.
What were you doing with the cloak, though, Becky?
Putting it in the backpack because it's gross and I'm not wearing it.
Yeah, it's slimy. It's got like a sticky mucus on it. So, okay. All right, so you throw that in your backpack. Launder trying to. Pogo. Then you reach out to grab one of these fruits. Walk off the side of the road a little bit and grab one. And it's moving in your hand. And the moment you touch the kind of white, slimy-ish, like humidity condensation on the outside of it, flesh of the fruit. As soon as you touch it, tiny pincers like jut out from the flesh, and like multiple different sets of pincers. Like there's multiple insects, maybe something inside there that are like snapping at your finger.
Throw it down and step on it with my shoe.
You step on it, and it's bigger than your foot, and it bursts like a rotten pumpkin, and immediately your foot is just surrounded with itty bitty like centipedes almost.
Well, me and Mage Hand, you guys keep going. You clean my fucking feet off. Fucking stomping on these stupid fucking things.
Stomping and batting with 3 hands, knocking, trying to smash as many of these things as you can. They look kind of like a mix between a scorpion and a centipede. And I mean, they crush really easily. They don't.
By the way, Launder, I do not think that's fruit. Just gonna throw it out there as I try to catch up with everybody.
It was a fruit. These things are just inside of them. It's like
maybe. You know what you did.
He's kind of chuckling a little bit, like as he's walking by. You're a little bit behind the group as you're smashing these and running your short little legs to catch back up. Launder still kind of glancing occasionally over at Norok. You are. I assume you guys are kind of taking the time to douse him.
He needs it.
Okay. Yeah. Launder is just clearly trying to make small talk or something. He says, "The Miss Sarah, you know a bit about the rills and everything, right? With your skill." Oh, well, Becky's the one that can't talk, of course. So much for that. Can you at least hear us, Becky? Can you type?
Oh, I think she was restart up.
All right. Well, I heard right, so I heard yes there. All right, then. Well, just I guess type if you would be saying anything, and if I see you, type in Discord if you need to, and if I'll just go to the Embers channel, and if I see you typing something in there, then I'll stop for a moment so you can reply. And now it sounds fine. I think at least I heard you. Yeah, I think I heard you say okay. So, go ahead. So if you're going to respond, anyways, he asks you, what you know about the rills.
Much?
Was that much? All I heard was
much or not
much? Fucker.
It's fine, Becky. We can piece it together. There we go. Now it's you typing. All right. I mean, it was me an odd response. It's like, how much do you know? Much. I know much about it.
many moosin.
It doesn't have the confidence, the sound of confidence. If anybody was to reply that, they would probably immediately discount your knowledge on the subject.
Whew, how far away are we until we get back to town?
2.5 hours, 3 hours, maybe.
Norok, is your back okay? Just keeping it wet?
Yeah, it seems to be working well.
Yeah, you're still having to constantly scratch it, and now that you had the experience of having like wet cloth against it, that did help alleviate it a little bit. So just using your own backpack and your cloak and everything, to keep not just wetting the skin but also wetting your clothes a little bit to keep that against the skin to try to kind of keep it wet for longer, basically. Kind of keeping pace as best you can while still just dousing yourself constantly.
If you're curious, by the way, it doesn't look that bad at all.
Okay.
Go ahead and make a deception check.
I was going to say.
I was looking for it on here. Since I'm not on the map, I actually have to do it old school style.
Oh yeah. Here, I can throw you guys as tokens on here too. Since this one is such low resolution, the tokens look gargantuan. Oh, Pogo still doesn't look gargantuan, actually. Because he's just a little guy. Launder to Sarah, he says, well, the rills, obviously with what happened, the vast erudition and everything with all that occurred there, the Azol rill must be an utter, pardon the pun, but just an utter chaos at the moment. I mean, the imprisoning of the hunger not even a year ago, and now the death of the warrior. Shug must be just writhing as those countless tentacles in fury.
Is this some sort of weird mage comment that I'm not wizardy enough to understand?
Give me an Arcana check. Arteme, you would have some understanding of this as well. Both of you can give me Arcana checks. Norok, the usage of the kind of barbarian of your tribe would be more primal, and therefore have less kind of organized understanding of the rills. Fox got a natural 20. Geez,
Yay!
that's probably like can count on one hand the number of times.
It's extremely rare. Yes, I know.
Yeah, Pogo, no understanding at all. Arteme, you do know what they're talking about, but the planes that magic comes from are what the rills are called. So like yours they come from different places, but Sarah's is the Sorcanal rill. That's where the Shadow realm is. But anyways, the Azol rill is Azol. You, Ben, and Becky will remember this from Balance, of course. But that's the chaos. That's chaos. That's where entropy and not necessarily negative energy, but non-organized, like the opposite of order. That's where that comes from. Anyways, the Azol House is that he's talking about is the kind of leadership group that covers. You guys have seen some of this stuff, but I don't know how much of I've
What do they call this in The Witcher? Is it the law of surprise? No. Yes.
What?
Wait, what?
In the Witcher shows, they call it the law of surprise. Is that what they call it?
That's not magic. That is.
But like that's like the opposites of order. Like that's what it reminds me of.
No.
This is
like chaos theory.
Well, okay. So chaos in itself, that's Azol just means chaos in this particular language, but most of the Sorcanal means shadow and so on. So Sarah's magic comes from a realm called Sorcanal, and that is shadow. That's what that means. Azol is chaos, and so Ben and Becky, you guys will remember the Azol house, right?
Mm-hmm.
You remember the Azol house? So that's the place that they went, and that was inside of the Azol rill. That is where that plane comes from, and chaos magic would come from the Azol plane. But they also, and this is something that Sarah will recognize some of too. Every plane has its own like leadership. It has its own hierarchy, right? And those are represented by a thing called the Deck of Doctrines, which is think of it like a tarot deck, and you have king, queen, jack, etc. Right? Well, what Launder is talking about is the Azol house. The leadership of Azol was the hunger, which is what the Vast Erudition was about. That was this guy trying to swallow the world. The hunger was imprisoned, and that's what he was talking about. And then you guys just killed the warrior, which is the knight of Azol house. So the king and the knight are both dead. Does that make sense? Well, one is imprisoned, one's dead. Does that make sense?
Yeah, somewhat, yes.
So imagine having a tarot deck, but the faces on the tarot deck are people, are real beings that existed. And two of them are now wiped out. So the king, the high house, the head of the high house.
Wait, how many cards are in a tarot deck? Like 20-something?
56, I think, is the normal deck.
No, 56?
No.
That's so
No,
Well, it depends,
you have
'cause
1
each-
through 10, and then you have your leadership.
Yeah, but each deck has different stuff. Like some of them, like the queen and stuff, isn't always like a parent. It's not always called that. Sometimes they're called warrior instead.
Exactly. So
it's
warrior,
just-
yeah, the knight in
78
Azol
cards
called
in a
warrior.
standard tarot deck.
Huh?
There's 78 cards in a
Yeah.
standard
So it's super high, but it's also because your decks are pentacles and swords and so on, right? They're not. It's not just the leadership of them, but it's also the 1 through 10 of the regular cards. But anyway, so think of it like this: like the Deck of Doctrines has physical representations that on the faces of those things show who the leadership is. Now, Sarah knows this, of course, because Shadow Throne, who is also Mumos, aka Mumos, is the head. He's the king of High House Shadow, which is Sorcanal. So it's this all coming together now. Everybody understand that? More for Sarah than you guys. Because Sarah's the one who gets letters from Corinth Angelis about this. Anyway, so and obviously Ben and Becky, you guys have
It gives me a general idea.
Yeah, you guys since well, neither Fox nor Justin, you guys weren't in Balance, so you guys didn't have some of that background of what Azol was. They spent a lot of time in Azol and around that because of the big bad guy from the Balance campaign, which is called the Hunger. Anyways, he continues, so he says that the Azol house, though, being this woefully imbalanced, Shug has to be almost desperate at this point. I don't know. I admit I'm excited to check my Deck of Doctrines when we get back. with Chaos as king and knight both vacant, the deck is just going to be unheard of. It's kind of like almost giddy, it seems like. I don't know if Becky probably can't talk yet, so this is mostly for her, and hopefully she can hear that. Did you hear all that, Becky?
There's probably no telling what the repercussions of it will be, though, if one house is imbalanced compared to the rest, right?
The grin on his face, like quickly fades, and he turns and looks in your direction, and then he just kind of nods a little bit. Because he did mention that it being out of balance, of course, because there's chaos. So order isn't necessarily good, and chaos isn't necessarily bad. If any of them, overthrow one or the other, it would be bad for everyone. So, anyway, so Justin, you know who Cthulhu is, right?
Yep.
So imagine Shug as being the old god. Cthulhu is who Shug is. That's who runs deities. That's what chaos is. Anyway. So all of that, though, Becky, I can send you the notes for that later, just for the stuff that Sarah will get you into it. Pogo stop playing his jig while you guys are walking now.
I personally thrive in chaos.
Definitely.
More like you thrive in creating chaos.
As I shake some scorpions off of my feet. I don't know what you're talking about.
Norak, maybe hopefully.
Make sure Norak is moist.
Alleviating some of your just constant, just angry annoyance at this constantly having to itch with the levity of Pogo's playing and jokes.
So what do we do when we actually get back to town? Does anyone have an idea? I mean, we need a bathtub to let him soak and then find a solution.
Launder says, thankfully, we, in this form, and he kind of looks down at himself, we've made larger tubs than we would normally have. If we were still in her shape, we probably wouldn't have ones he could even fit in.
I would just look at him and say, depends what shape I'm in.
He furrows his brow a little bit. I don't think he's seen you shapeshift.
Oh, right.
You did turn into the Cricks when you guys were out there.
Yes, I did.
Yeah, okay. That's a fancy trick you've got there, miss.
It comes in handy.
I mean, it's not uncommon, for our folk, but was it something you were born with, or did you study for it?
A bit of both.
Yeah, I was envied them when I was younger, but the risks, what the Will Warren can turn you into if you lose yourself too much in it, that was always a worry to me. And then he looks down at himself, and here I am turned into this anyways, and I never even got to fly for it.
Pogo would have just now remembered that this forest is full of fuckery, and he's going to...
Really? After all that I screwed with you guys with?
He's in a hurry, he's worried about his friends, okay. And now that they're in the forest walking back, he's going to ready vicious mockery, and he'd like to take a deep look around into the trees to see if anything's coming out at them.
Okay. Well, funny you should say that. Real quick before we do this, Becky, I saw you start to type something and then stop. Do you want to try rebooting everything and come back?
I'm gonna go scout ahead a bit with Sai. We're gonna both scout a bit and come back.
Okay. All right. Well, tell you what, guys. Let's let Becky reboot. I'm gonna go. I have a print that just finished anyway, so we'll take a 5-minute break to let Becky get everything booted back up.
Okay. Be right back.
All right. Be right back. I'm back. Hush, doggy. Hush, Esther.
Look at that beautiful man.
I just sent you a picture, Justin, of what the Ender, like here. So the Ender's on the left, obviously. The Mars is on the right, so you can see that it's really pretty tiny.
Right, hold on. Wait, are we talking Discord or text?
No, I just texted it to you. That's my print station. Ooh. But like,
so the problem is when we redid that room.
Mm-hmm.
We redid that room, and like the opposite side of the room is what everyone can see when Leah is working.
Mm-hmm.
And apparently having the minis there are too distracting because her clients are kids and they can see the minis and they're like, what are those? So like we had to like shuffle it all sideways. But the problem is it's just a terrible spot for it. And that shelf I made doesn't fit on any of the other shelves we made. So like I need to figure out what to do with all the minis, and then I'm going to set it up on there. But I need to literally like build something. I don't want to put them in a box because they get all fucked up.
Yeah. No, but I mean, as far as the printer's concerned, it's literally about like desk space that you'll need. Like footprint space is 1 square foot. It's literally like a foot back and a foot, wide.
Yeah. For both the little boxes or just the one?
Well, just the one. That I haven't seen the curing station that I sent you. I don't know how big that one is, but I can't imagine it's very big.
All right. Yeah, I want to get set up. I had like you know how like I was telling you a while back, I like just some days, man, I just have no drive anymore. Like I'm just so like kind of depressed with the world.
I hear you. Yeah, I mean, that's like for real. That was part of the reason that I sent it in the first place is because you were getting into the sculpting. And like, here's the thing. I totally get that completely. I have the same problem with work sometimes and so on, right? But it's one of those things that, like, as soon as you do it, you feel bad that you should have just done it days ago because you would have felt better for all those days in between.
Oh yeah,
you know what I mean?
It's one of those goofy things. Like right now, though,
the first step is the hardest. Kind of
what's getting super overwhelming for me is this whole fucking Wasted Wizards board game thing.
Yeah.
Like, so we want to do a few things. I want to do a Kickstarter for it, but before I can do a Kickstarter, we have to get like a super nice how it's going to end version.
Yeah.
The pieces, you got to take really nice pictures, like a video of people playing. Like you actually have to put a little production value into it in order to actually get people to purchase it. Or
you're going to need to sculpt those too. You're not going to be able to use those ones that you buy.
I'm not using. No. You can buy the ones. You can use the ones I buy on Amazon. Once you buy a product, you can resell that product. That would be like saying you can't go to Best Buy, buy a laptop, and then resell the laptop. You absolutely can.
Well, okay, but here's the thing. That's not true. That's not true because
I'm going to do that because I'm going to add bases to them.
Well, hang on. So if you modify them to the point that it's
they're totally
transitive, it has to be what's called transitive, something like that. But you can't just buy something and then resell it in your own packaged product. And here's how you know that that's not true, because you can't go buy a Mickey Mouse off of a shelf, put it in your board game, and then resell your board game. You understand? That's
but there's a big difference between. I can literally check this out. Literally from Amazon, you can buy that exact same bag of fucking dragons from like 5 different vendors.
Yeah. So what I mean is that obviously from something like that, as the lower profile IP it is, the better, because then there's less risk of someone coming after you. But they absolutely could. Is what I'm saying.
Let them. I'm at a point where I'm like, if I pay you money for your product, and they're going to be pissed if I add it into a completely different product. Fuck them.
Honestly, as long as you made it, like putting a base on it, painting it, even if you slightly modify even the base, I think it'll probably be enough. That'll probably be plenty. It's just a matter of you literally just put it in the box.
I told you about how there was the guy, quote unquote artist, who is literally downloading other people's Instagram images and then blowing them up and then adding his signature to them, selling them in an art gallery for a lot of money, got sued and won because his signature
was
blowing the picture up took it outside the area of it's no longer the same product.
Yeah. Did he try to say that it was parody law?
I think
Call it parody?
I'm fun. Yeah, let some random Chinese company try to sue me.
Yeah, that's where you're safe. Is that if it's, they'll probably never even like have any idea that
they will never know it's there.
Yeah.
They won't know it exists.
Yeah.
No. So that would be like saying like, oh, I can't resell the dice that I'm buying off of Amazon. I can't package them in. They're gonna be like, oh, that blue colored plastic.
Yeah, well, okay. In certain cases, they probably could be.
Yeah, I'm gonna have to make my own dice from scratch. No one's ever bought anything and resold it.
Yeah. Well, I mean, the thing is with minis is they could be argued that it's art, and that's when you would have
not with
copyright issues. But
not when you're buying a literal 100-pack of plastic dragons.
Yeah.
For like these are being sold to resell. No one buys 100-pack
just because they need 100
dragons.
Like sculpt. Yeah.
This is me using Amazon as a basically a middleman distributor is what I'm doing. Yeah.
All right, Becky is back. Are we able to communicate now?
Can you guys hear me?
Yep. Nice and clear
Yay.
so far. Did you have any response or anything you wanted to during that conversation with Wander?
I only picked up like half of what you were saying, so right now, no.
Okay. All right. I'll just give you the notes for that later. You can tell you what, in your channel you can just ask questions to Lorna. We'll just put that conversation out as needed, but I'll at least give you what he said anyways for the stuff that you missed. All right. So where we left off, Fox is back. I haven't heard Fox yet. All right. Probably still making tea or chugging a bottle of maple syrup.
Do they use maple leaves instead of tea leaves for tea?
That sounds
bags.
By the way, I know that's a really good Canada joke that like I could see being slipped into like a movie or something.
For sure.
It's like a funny little reference joke.
Yeah.
Like just in the background, like literally, just like maple.
Oh, not even say it out loud. Just that they're literally dipping maple leaves into water.
Literally just shove it into drop a bunch of them into their glass and pour like it from a kettle.
Yeah.
Can't believe summer's like almost over.
It's fucking September 5th, and it was like 102 or something today.
Yeah, it's. I mean, hey, look on the bright side. Let's enjoy this weather because it will only get hotter.
Yeah.
I can't believe that. I can't believe that mortgage prices and house prices are still not going down.
They're going up, if anything.
They're going up. I'm waiting. Like I got enough liquid here where I'm like, I want to buy a little piece of fucking land, but it keeps going up.
Yeah.
You want a chunk of dirt in West Sacramento? $290,000 for a literally like one house worth of dirt.
Yeah.
Nobody with much smarts would be looking in Sacramento anyways, except for buying with the purpose of either developing or reselling as the price goes up.
I wonder how long we'll have water for.
So that's part of it. It's just with the droughts and the rolling power outages and stuff. Like there was another. I just got a notification, earlier today that PG&E is doing more rolling blackouts again. So thankfully, it doesn't affect Justin and I. But half of the state getting knocked out of power just because it's hot. Like that's. I mean, it's fucking California, and we don't have enough energy generation. Or
we're only the 8th biggest economy in the world. What do you expect from us?
And we can't keep power on. And it's not even like it's fucking free. It's not like we ran out of the free supply of power. No, it's customers wanting to pay for their power to keep their fucking AC on, and they can't. That's how shitty that California's run.
It's crazy too to think like last month.
He's a fucking idiot. He's an absolute goddamn moron.
I think last month. Well, I'm still pissed off that like just come down hard on PG&E, man. Like I don't even give a shit if we take control over it. Just make a decision.
The fucking fires last year, a year ago, that was PG&E's fault. Remember?
Yeah.
I mean, there's a ton this year too.
Well, I thought. You know what I thought was going to happen? I honestly thought. I thought PG&E was going to be dismantled and replaced by some sort of California
something like SMUD.
Something like SMUD, where it's a municipal utility,
Yeah.
and then it was going to be state partially owned.
Yeah.
And, but no, apparently they were just like, yeah, you now owe $60 billion, and they're just like, okay,
yep,
sure, make it 400 billion. I don't give a shit.
I mean, it's imaginary numbers; it doesn't matter.
We're making shit up.
Yeah.
You owe me 7 quintillion donut holes. I don't fucking know. Shit.
Yep. Fox, you back? Come on, Fox.
Meow. Anyone have plans for Monday besides just getting paid for not doing shit?
I'll be working.
Yeah, but you get double paid for not doing as much.
It's salaried. It doesn't matter.
Wait, your salary?
Yeah, with the promotion, I'm salaried now.
Oh, that sucks, kind of.
Honestly,
I'm sure your salary is really good, but
yeah, that's it. I got a really nice pay bump. So considering that I can work from home, and you know, like, I mean, I worked today while I was doing game prep. You know, just because some of the techs needed some help earlier.
I think it's funny how
it's not that hard.
Before you're like, hey, if you're playing, maybe we can in the middle of work we can jump on and play. Dude, I have I'm lucky if I return my text messages, and all the time where I'm like have like 10 minutes, 5 minutes of maybe downtime, I'm like trying to fucking like work out a little bit or shut my brain off. Because I get so infuriated. I have to tell myself multiple times a day, I have to stare at the wall and say, you do not care about your job, stop fucking stressing out. Like I am just on edge.
Yeah. It just sucks that you've been there so long, because that is like at any company at any, let's say, normal company, that would be huge. That would be awesome for you, because you would have, you know, hopefully built yourself up to a decent salary by now. And, you know, that looks amazing on a resume. But unfortunately for, you know, where you're at, it just doesn't apparently translate to that much because, you know.
Hello.
Hey, Fox. You back?
Yeah, sorry, I made tea, and the water took a bit longer to boil.
We were joking about you making tea, in fact. Funny that you should say that. Yeah. Ben made a joke that you make tea with maple leaves because you're Canadian.
No, actually, I can't handle maple. It makes me sick.
Or not fucking seriously?
Yeah, anything with, like, most things with maple just make me sick, so I avoid it.
Do you have to, like, keep that a secret, you know? Like, you can't let the Canadian authorities know about that?
Yeah, you'll be arrested for sure.
Not really.
Come to your house, and they'll have their horse ring your doorbell, and they'll, like, bend down to the door and be like, excuse me, miss, you need to come with us, okay? You need to take it down to the station.
People are allergic or reactive to a lot of stuff, so it's just one of the things I react to badly.
Is it like, as long as you're okay with at least either maple syrup or Molson, you're okay?
Okay, I don't like beer, so, and...
You definitely can't be a Canadian then. Wow.
Wow, that's just rude.
Canadian?
Yes, I'm sure. That is just mean. No, I made an apple tea, but I do use tea leaves, so...
I've been making fun of Fox for being Canadian for like 6 years or something at this point, so
yeah.
I can't believe it's still fucking funny to me. Still stupid Canadian jokes, and they're still funny. And most of the time they're repeats anyway, so Fox has to get really tired of it by now. But
hey, if Monk can convince people around the world that we actually have sled dogs year-round, that people are so gullible, or that we actually have people, like, police riding moose instead of horses, people can't be any more gullible.
Oh yeah, absolutely. Like, you know, every time you go to do your groceries, you gotta get this, you know, the dogs ready, you gotta get the sled together, you gotta, like, clean it, you know, you all that kind of shit. Like, having to dig out the fucking this and the that because it's covered in the snow. Oh, yeah, people buy it.
Oh, that's fun. All right.
It is.
So, where we left off, Pogo was just realizing that he's in a dangerous place and decided to hold on, what was it, Vicious Mockery?
Vicious Mockery, in case there's any movement that doesn't look safe.
Since you guys have passed this road 3 times previous, this being the 4th time you guys have walked this way, you remember, in fact, the last time you came here with Olowin, there's a large bend in the road, remember, where there's, you know, like a 90 degree, 45 degree? Yeah, and then exactly where the trees were moving in a unnatural way, and Olowin had stilled them, right? Well, where this road has that wide bend curving around where those awakened trees were that Olwyn, had killed on the earlier trip. The road itself, Launder in the front kind of dragging his leg behind him, Norok, in the middle just still scratching away and occasionally dousing himself. You guys all kind of moving along. Sarah on the broom? Becky? Uh-oh. Did we lose Becky again?
We can't hear you.
You're lighting up. Are you muted? Because you're lighting up like your push to talk or something's on.
Probably.
There we go.
No, we heard half of the word probably, so. All right, well, we've only got, half an hour, 40 minutes left. So, Becky, you're probably, you can try talking, of course, but if I see you light up and I don't hear a response, then just type it in the meantime. So
Is
that
possible it could be your headset?
It doesn't sound like it.
Oh, okay. Unplug
it
or something?
Shit, you know what, actually, because Becky, is Discord still green?
Yeah.
I heard yeah just fine.
Okay, make sure your headset's completely plugged in, because there's a few times where people couldn't hear me because my mic was half unplugged, because the cord got caught and pulled on something. So
it's a wireless headset, but it's.
Oh.
It could be that actually.
Okay.
It could be the wireless going in and out.
Yeah, it could just be either the battery's dying or the antenna is starting to go.
Yeah.
That's why I prefer wired.
But
Less trouble.
Okay,
yeah.
Can you guys hear me? Okay.
Yeah, nice and clear now. Yeah.
Okay, so probably not, because she's probably still a little freaked out since she fell.
Oh, okay. So you're just walking just with the room on your back?
Yep.
The room betrayed you?
Trying not to make it look like I'm having a nervous breakdown.
All right. Well, that big curve in the road that I was describing there, right? It just keeps curving. And the previous times you've passed it, it was only just this wide arc before it would straighten out and then go, turn almost due south. But now it just keeps turning, never straightening back out. Like the road is somehow just circling back in on itself. And as you guys are kind of realizing this and having this moment of recognition that it's just turning and turning and turning, and then you're literally just walking in like a big donut where there's a thick tree wall in the middle, so on your left and on your right is pretty dense foliage where these awakened trees had been previously. There is all of you hear this mischievous feminine giggle.
Not again.
Oh no.
Hang on. I have to change the scene again too. Was it token vision? Yeah, we'll turn that off because I don't think you guys need it for this. There we go. Perfect.
Oh.
All right. So, everybody give me a perception check. Not again.
Wait. Oh, shit. I know what I've been doing.
So I didn't notice this while I was scouting, or I got caught in it before I noticed it.
Okay.
Because before we left after the break, I said I was going to scout outside.
So real quick, Jeremy, on my character, I forgot that I actually had to click the name of the thing, not the icon left to it. The icon left to it is what gives you proficiency, double proficiency, half proficient, blah, blah, blah.
So you messed up your proficiencies, is what you're saying?
I messed up on one of them, and I don't know which.
Okay, I know which ones are. Well, I have them on your sheet. So what did you?
Because I know I'm not proficient in perception.
You're definitely not. So that's right.
But I'm half proficient because I have that weird fucking.
Yeah, jack of all trades, and that's what that is. That's what that half circle is. So that's actually correct.
Cool.
Perception's correct, anyways. Performance, persuasion, and everything else looks right.
I think I'm good.
Yeah, everything looks right.
Am I? Well, am I proficient in? Well, I haven't used intimidation, so I wouldn't have clicked on that.
Well, we took intimidation off.
Arcana's good.
Yeah.
Acrobatics.
Yeah, I'll compare it. I have your.
I think I'm good.
I'll go through it later, anyways, just to make sure that they're all correct. Sleight of hand is the only one I'm not sure about. I think I'm like 90% sure the rest are right.
I think I'm good on sleight of hand too. I think because I like to steal things. And I've been trying to do that.
Yeah, I think you're right. I think you did have that actually.
But we can double check.
Fox, you actually would have, but you would have been around the bend anyway, is the thing. So you would have been, I was thinking you were further back, but you're right, you would have been actually in front. So you would have been ahead of everyone else and seen it curve around
and then turn around and see your friends coming in behind you. But they, you would have to be kind of walking backwards around this same loop. Fox, have you seen Game of Thrones?
Nope.
All right, never mind. There's basically you would continue walking backwards around this never-ending circle until you ran into the rest of the group, and come alongside everyone else there.
Okay, gotcha.
With those, well, pretty much everybody except for Sarah who's still a little bit out of her element at the moment. Looking around and hearing the giggle, you kind of look to the side of the road, and the outside edge of the donut there is this spaced every 3 feet or so series of these very specific, same white mushrooms that you had seen the last time that you ran into her, just around the outside edge. They were difficult. They're small, not easy to see, and they're spread out quite a ways. But they're around the outside edge, meaning you are in the inside of this circle at the moment. It seems. What are you guys doing?
This feels wrong, doesn't it, guys? Does not feel correct? Like we're running around in a circle?
It's definitely wrong.
Oh, great. Is Launder still with us? Where are you, Launder?
Yeah, I'm right here. I'm not the hard one to see.
Are you... Where are we? What's going on?
Man, we're not getting anywhere.
It's one of the fey creatures. They're constantly harassing us these days.
Fake creatures. Is there, you mind letting us out?
You hear the same, recognize the voice almost immediately, of course. Same voice, very gleeful almost. She says, "Oh, don't be so dour, sillies. We had so much fun last time." And there's kind of a rustling in the center. What?
Fun for who?
Yeah, when I was trapped in her body, it was like a sexual awakening, really, is what it felt like. Some of it felt right.
I'm just gonna knock him on the head.
She giggles quite happily.
So we're in a bit of a hurry. I didn't know we were going to run into you so quick. So what's up?
Speaking of Norak, it's about that time you end up having to douse yourself
So
again.
we gotta make sure our friend here stays moist.
You see there's a rustling in the center, like the middle part of what would be the donut, in the kind of branches and brush there. And she comes stepping out. She's only about 4 feet tall this time, which is she was 5.5 before. So she's quite a bit shorter, a little bit taller than Pogo right now. Stepping out, kind of stretches her wings out a little bit, moves her shoulders around. She says, "Look, how long this takes is really up to you. It's not me that has to, go through all of this. It's really your problem, not mine."
Games are we playing? Let's do whatever you need to do. What are we doing here?
Well, I don't know that I'm not even in the mood for games. Look,
So what's with the trap?
She frowns.
Does she look like the cute fairy? Or
To
does
you,
she look
yeah.
like? Oh, yeah. What kind of games? I'm always fine to play a game with a cute fairy thing like yourself. Wink.
To Sarah and Arteme, this is like disgusting because half of her face is teeth. Remember? So this is really gross that Pogo is even considering such a thing. But very long, needle-like teeth. She has just a deep frown at Arteme when you said that. Speaking of, actually, I have. I didn't get a chance to make a proper PNG. The transparency, I didn't do it right because I was kind of in a hurry. But there it is. There we go. She just kind of frowns, very spoiled kid-like at Arteme. She says, "Look, I'll be fair. I know you guys seem to think that this was, put upon on you the last time, but I think this was, a worthwhile engagement for the both of us. You got something out of it too. I know you had fun." Oh shit, Joseph! I haven't looked through those. I didn't realize they were like a heart emoji type of thing.
It wasn't. So if I remember correctly, also Pogo didn't remember like the 20. I think he lost his memory for the 24 hours before.
Yeah.
So he didn't know how he showed up there or anything.
It was restored.
Was it restored? I mean, It wasn't the worst thing in the world. I gotta say, losing my voice for that period of time was an odds. Maybe we'll keep that off the table. By the way,
good.
Well, I was gonna see a friend here. His back is a little messed up. Would it be possible maybe to heal him up before we played the game, so we don't have to keep dousing him with water every 10 minutes?
Before? What would I get out of that?
I don't know. A nice sense of warmth in your heart for helping out a fellow game player. We'll enjoy it.
She gives a very sarcastic grin and kind of tisk, 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 shakes her head a little bit. Oh, I don't think so.
Right.
But tell you what, I'm bored, and here's what I, the great and powerful Sparkle Sand, queen of this here fairy circle, propose. I want you to tell me a story. A good one, mind you, not just some boring tale you might tell in front of a fire in an inn somewhere. I want you to make me laugh, make me cry. I want to roar in anger. You make my little fey heart flutter. You do that, and I'll send one of my sisters with you to help you in some future time of need. How about that?
I mean, if that's what you feel like doing, that's fine.
I'm just going to look up Pogo and say, you're the performer, come up with a story. It's not my thing.
She kind of grins a little bit. She points in Artemis' direction. I think you're onto something there, lady. See, this one here, this Pogo wasn't. I definitely liked you when you were her, though. So I'm totally on board with you there. You were much cooler when you were her. But he's already a professional storyteller, so that wouldn't be much of a challenge if you could just leave it to him, right? That doesn't sound like fun. So here's the rub. I want each of you to take turns. You're each gonna you tell me 3 words of a story, and then the next person tells 3 words, and then the next person, and so on until you finish this tale. How's that sound? And she puts her hands on her hips.
All right. So, I mean, are you guys ready? What order are we doing this in?
She kind of sniffs at the air. She says, "But not him." She's looking at Launder.
Okay. Not you,
Just
Launder.
you
You just sit down and take a break.
He kind of grumbles. She says, "This is going to be so much fun." She kind of giggles and jumps in place. Speaking of, actually, she giggles and jumps in place. Wings kind of flittering a little bit, or about a little bit, and you notice that there's evening sunlight, almost sunset, reflecting off of those. And you left. You were only maybe an hour into a walk. It was probably only 2 p.m. maybe in the afternoon, and yet evening sunlight coming off the wings. You get where I'm going with this, right?
Sure, time's moving fast.
Yep. So,
shall I begin then?
What order are you guys going in?
Who wants to go after me?
Why not?
All right.
We're stuck.
So Justin, hang on, I gotta have room here to have notes, I guess. Oops. Justin, and Fox, and then who's going after?
All good.
All right, and then Becky. Becky, you'll have to type your 3 words, I guess. I will tell you that there are specifics that she's looking for in this story. I already told you the clues, so do you need me to repeat any of that? Do you guys understand what this challenge is? What you're
she wants to laugh, cry, and get angry.
There was one other thing, too. Yeah. So you guys are going to need to manage to put in as many of those. There's 4 elements, and you're going to need to try to get to all 4 of those, at least as best you can, while each person telling 3 words. And the more things you miss, the more, let's say, penalties there's going to be.
Okay, I don't remember what the 4th thing was. Does anybody else remember?
Nope, but we can just try our best. And it's only 3 words, right?
3 words. Oh, Becky got it.
Oh, let's see. What did Becky say? Oh.
In the Embers channel.
Okay. Are you guys ready? I've got an idea. Let's see if it works.
She's got her kind of fists up on her hips, moving her wings kind of back and forth. I'm ready when you are.
All right, I'm going to look at Fox, and I'm going to say, in a galaxy.
Not too different.
Okay.
From this circle.
From this circle?
Yeah.
Okay.
It's gonna take 1,000 years.
Yeah, it's gonna be Becky's turn.
Can we maybe just start this game, end it, and then start it when she has a functional mic?
Well, I mean, Norok said from this circle. So it's current so far. It's in a galaxy not too different from this circle, and now it's your turn. All right, there was a Justin.
Noble warrior who
Fox.
Oh, went on an adventure?
Well,
Do
went on.
do propositions kind of count as a word? Because
Well, on and no, it still counts. Yeah. So, do you want went on and? Do you want went? What do you want to do?
On
Went on adventure.
Yeah.
Okay. All right. Went on adventure. Ben.
To save fairies.
Aw. She says, aw. Becky.
Can we get this little story in writing after? This is going to be so confusing.
Sure. From an evil from Becky. Yeah. Here, in fact, actually, when we finish each little section, I can put them in here.
monster from the dark.
From an evil monster from
Monster from darkness.
From darkness. There you go. All right. Fox.
This is a new sentence if you haven't figured that out.
Fox.
Yeah, I'm thinking. Sorry.
All right. I thought this would be a fun little simple
I think it's
challenge.
very fun. It's.
So sorry. What was Justin's?
So
word?
it's a noble warrior who went on an adventure to save fairies from an evil monster from the dark or from darkness. So from an evil monster from darkness. New sentence. The whole thing is in the chat there.
Yeah.
I've got anxiety.
With multiple eyes.
Okay, that is thematically appropriate for the shit you guys have fought.
Well,
Come on, start first,
I'm hoping they're pulling from what we just went through here.
Okay, sure.
I was going for Star Wars, but apparently the second person in line didn't get that. So.
I saw In a Galaxy. I'm like, okay, if you're gonna do like literally
Dude,
fucking Star
I
Wars,
have no clue. That's
I wouldn't have been able to get it either.
okay. Out of Star
No,
Wars,
intro.
I only seen stuff if other people were watching it. I never actually watched it. So
From what I've seen, you didn't miss anything. It's fucking awful. All right, with multiple eyes, Ben. Noble warrior who went on adventure to save fairies from an evil monster from darkness with multiple eyes.
Some fairies perished. Some fae perished, excuse me.
Some fae perished, all right?
Yeah.
Okay. Becky.
I think she's typing.
Yep. I'll put it in here too. But he saved, all right?
The beautiful fairy.
The beautiful fairy. All right. She kind of titters a little bit, and you see her eyes kind of glisten like a shitty anime. Fox. Some fae perished, but he saved the beautiful fairy.
and her pet.
Okay. Of course.
I don't know here. Okay.
No, I actually like this. We still got to make her laugh. I like this. I like where it's going.
Yeah. Let's see. They lived together.
Oops, hang on. Okay, they lived together. Becky's turn. the whole thing in the chat here again real quick, just so everybody's got it. Becky, you're still able to see the chat and everything, right? It's just audio, but so yeah, you can still see that inside the game. I'll fix up the capitalization and punctuation and shit later. In a beautiful... Okay, back to Justin.
House of Jewels.
You see her eyes kind of go wide. Fox.
Built in.
Huh? Fox?
Sorry, built in a...
Alright, built in a... Ben?
Beautiful magical forest.
You guys have used the word beautiful 3 times now.
I know.
As somebody who writes occasionally... Oh, no, wait. Go ahead. Beautiful what?
Magical forest.
Alright, beautiful magical forest. Alright, so the beautiful fairy and her pet, they live together in a beautiful house of jewels built in a beautiful magical forest. Becky.
Maybe instead of beautiful house, put elegant house.
We
we're not
can't
going
edit.
Yeah.
You guys are saying these words out loud. You can't go back and edit. Here, I'll give you the whole thing here.
I feel like this is why corporate structure doesn't work on like a group meeting level.
When you're trying to
Like
write a movie by committee.
There's 8 people working on a project. This is how I feel.
I'll tell you that you guys have knocked out one of, we'll call it two actually, of the 4 things that she's looking for. That had many. All right, back to Justin. House of Jewels built in a beautiful magical forest that had many... This is like 2 sentences so far, guys. These are really run-on sentences, too.
Laughing giant toads.
All right. Back to Fox. Beautiful magical forest that had many laughing giant toads. She kind of tips her head to the side a little bit, like she's wondering where this is going.
Make her laugh.
And many other creatures?
3 words.
3
Oh
words.
my gosh.
You got to play off those creatures. What do the toads do, and that would make her laugh? That
Yes,
would
and.
make some-
Let's do some improv school.
in 3 words.
Did you just say improv school?
Yeah, yes, and. That's improv school. Justin was talking about a trait for improv. I don't know if it was intentional, but that is what you're supposed to build off of.
I have no idea how to build off that.
That's totally okay. Nobody should ever need to know those things. It just makes for good comedy.
Okay, sorry, what was the 3 words Justin said?
So it's House of Jewels
giant-
built. Yeah, House of Jewels built in a beautiful magical forest that had many laughing giant toads.
Performing many tricks.
All right.
Here it is.
To please them.
All
Aw.
right, back to Becky. Built in a beautiful magical forest that had many laughing giant toads performing many tricks to please them. You guys have done 3, 4, 5, 6, almost. Yeah, well, this will be the end of the 6 rounds.
This
of
is going to
so
make a great poem.
I should have made you guys do it in like haiku form or something like that.
Please
That
no.
would've been awful. They would try. Okay, the beginning of another sentence, presumably. They would try. Justin?
To balance balls.
You see her kind of grin a little bit, like maybe it's going somewhere. To balance balls. Fox?
Sorry, this 3-word limit is really weird because I'm thinking most of the stuff I'm thinking of is 4 words here. Okay.
Sure. It's part of the fun.
Let me think on how
The
to put this
anxiety's
down
so
to
bad.
3 words.
I thought this would be fun.
Okay,
Mostly because
so
I don't have to do it. So
Becky said they would try, and then
Justin said to balance balls. Yeah. So the beginning of the
balance
sentence. So the giant laughing, presumably, as the story's going, the laughing giant toads performing many tricks to please them. They would try to balance balls. Here, I'll copy the thing in here for you again. I gotta tell you, it was really fucking hard to not whistle the Chrono Trigger theme when we were on the.
It made me want to replay it.
Didn't you just played it through on your phone not long ago? Didn't you?
Yeah, not too long ago on my tablet during dialysis. Yeah, it was about a year ago.
Shit, it's already been that long, huh?
It has literally been a year since I got a kid. Yeah.
Tick tick, Missy.
on their tongues.
Perfect.
Balance balls on their tongues. Okay. She kind of grins. Where's this going, guys?
We could go a fun spot with this, guys. It'll be hilarious.
She kind of winks at Togo.
But they swallowed.
All right. Well, just because that made me laugh, I'm gonna say that she kind of giggles. She guffaws a little bit at that. Does seem like you've made her laugh. Becky.
But they swallowed.
Yeah, I put it in the chat. In the
balance balls on their tongues, but they swallowed.
Yeah, Ben said, but they swallowed, and she guffawed. She chuckled at it. There's still one more thing that she's looking for. I tell you what, you guys, you're going to get one more round, right? So Becky's got this, and then there's one more whole round, and you need to try to get the last thing, otherwise this will be the end of the story.
Okay, we made her laugh. I'm guessing we made her heart flutter earlier. We might have made her cry or angry, so it's either angry or cry that we probably need. Just guessing here.
And choked on, all right. All right, one round left, so each of you get one more 3-word phrase to try to get whatever the you guys like. I'll tell you out of narrative if you have a moment. So if you guys want to discuss which
the noble warrior.
All right. On to Fox.
Tried to save.
Tried to save. Okay, Ben.
But he failed.
All right, so we're at the end here. Becky's the only one left here, but I think we might have lost the thread here a bit because it's to balance balls on their tongues, but they swallowed and choked on the noble warrior. Tried to save, but he failed. I think where it got confused was that, but they swallowed and choked on the noble warrior. They choked on the noble warrior. It's not a separate. Does that make sense?
Yeah.
You can pull it out. I got to tell you, the punishments are potentially a little harsh for this one because I wasn't expecting it would be many.
I'm over waiting for people to come up with 3 words. Fucking make me silent again for another day. Don't care.
So they choked on the warrior?
Well,
is that what's happening here?
You're trying to make her go get angry.
Okay, no, okay. The way I thought it was going is they were choking on whatever, like the balls, but what were the balls made of? I thought that's where we were going, but it went a different direction.
Yeah, that is where I thought it was going, but Justin,
we have
the
3
noble warrior,
to make her angry.
No, that's it.
Yeah, so that was it.
His last 3 words are it.
Yeah.
Shit, we're trying to make her angry?
Mm-hmm.
Fuck all fairies.
What makes
I'll make her mad.
But he failed, period. Fuck all fairies.
Yeah, that's it.
And he died?
Okay. All right. You know what's funny? If it was Ben's turn to end it and he did say that, I would absolutely have given it to you just because that was fucking hysterical and it would make her mad. So
wouldn't that make every girl mad? Have you ever watched a romantic comedy and the end it just fucking ends and they
And he
never
dies.
get together or anything?
Yeah.
Fucking, I've seen girls be like stand up and be like, what?
well, for this story though, they did
Yeah.
get together as a thing. It's then
And then he died.
and then he died. Yeah, they did get together, so they had their time. There's just more tragedy at the end. So the 4 things you guys needed to get were comedy, which he did. You know, she chuckled at the, but he swallowed because it sounded like there was innuendo there. The tragedy early on was to some Fae perished. That was the make her cry. That was the tragedy early on. Some Fae perished. Got her there when she said awe. Angry, you guys did not get clearly, so you guys were on the right track there. And then the last one was the heart flutter thing for the romance of it was the noble warrior went on the adventure to save fairies and so on. So you guys got 3 of the 4. She stands there. She goes, "It was so close, guys.
That
Still,
wasn't bad.
still,
You know, that's a good poem. We should write that one down and save that forever. It'll go in my little journal of happy little rhymes and poems. I'm actually writing it down.
Tell you what, little man, you tell that in all of the bar rooms you'd like. But in the meantime, we need to settle up, I'm afraid. And you didn't quite accomplish what I was hoping for. Don't get me wrong, I enjoyed my time. It was all very fun. But, you know, we have an agreement here. You can still take my sister with you. That's fine. She'll help you out when you need it. But how do we pick which one of you, pays the price here?
I will pay the price. So
I'm
I
afraid
ended it. We didn't get it.
Yeah, I'm afraid it's not as simple as just that. We're going to do eeny, meeny, miny, mo. 4 was... hang on. It was... Where'd my list go? It was Norak, then Sarah, then Artemis, then Pogo. So it is Pogo that's getting the punishment. Which...
Shocker.
Pogo is the one that usually gets screwed at these things, but it literally was like, here, I'll show you my notes here. If I can find it again, where did it go? God damn it. Each one missed. Dave roll a d4, Pogo, Sarah, Artemis, Pogo. Or sorry, Norak, Sarah, Artemis, Pogo. And then, here, I'll put it in this in Discord here.
There we go.
Oh, hang on, I think it's not copied. Here we go. This is what I had in my notes there. On there, go ahead and roll a d4, Pogo.
All right.
And that will decide which punishment you get. It was the other way. It was Norak, then Sarah, then Artemis, then Pogo. Oh, well, sorry, the story.
Sorry, I was using that to keep track in the story, and I forgot it was in there.
No, you're fine. All right. 4 is... Okay. You see her squint her eyes kind of facing you. She's kind of squints her eyes at your direction. She's just grinning gleefully, which to you looks like, a beautiful elven girl. And then she kind of wiggles her nose a little bit, and then she just opens her eyes and she smiles. She says, "Okay, done." That was really fun, guys. I did enjoy that.
That was not bad. I mean...
Oh, you'll find out about that later. You don't...
use a little work, Fox. we need to work on your improv training a little bit.
Well, first of all, you said Fox, not Artemis, so...
Artemis. The hard part about it is that Fox is so in my brain like an actual...
Like a character name?
Game character name that just throws me off all the time.
Yep.
Okay, but how is that Okay, most of my characters in most games have Fox in their name.
They do have Fox in the name, yeah.
I only have a few that don't. I actually have...
Okay.
Maybe
how many
story.
Foxes have you met in real life?
Yeah,
like,
you're
like, oh, hi, my name is Fox in real life.
Dude, if I could, I'd change my name to Fox.
Sure. I'm just saying.
Do they not allow you to
see
do
Fox.
No, it costs money to do it, and then you have to do like a ton of paperwork, and then you have to go back and get like all your stuff issued, like from like high school, and like it's a complete pain in the ass.
Yeah.
It's a hullabaloo, is where it is.
It's very Canadian.
Jeremy, do you have that typed up, the whole thing in Discord, so I can add it to my journal notes?
Yeah.
Yes.
Oh, so yeah, you want it in text though, not the
Yes,
image. I
please.
assume, right? All right, let me
Not image if
Notepad real
it's
quick.
possible.
Yeah, by default, when you paste from Notepad or from OneNote rather into Discord, it automatically makes it an image rather than text. So let me grab just text here. I'm sure there's hold control when you paste it or something, but there you go. There's all the text.
I know what I'm performing at our next time we get into town.
I'm also going to reply to Pogo that I'm not a performer.
It showed, miss, but I appreciated all that effort you put in.
I'm more of like an adventurer and into relics and old things and old books than trying to make people laugh or whatever.
Well, maybe before you come back, you read an old book on how to tell a story.
There you go. We'll practice. We'll practice before we go to bed.
She's only mean to you. When you first came here, that mean thing you said, and she frowned at you. That's why she's being mean to you. What's that, Becky?
Or maybe we just don't come back. That works.
I mean, that doesn't sound fun. You guys must have enjoyed yourselves, right?
Sure, but it sounds so much more fun not to come back.
You guys are no fun anyways. Party poopers coming in here complaining the whole time.
How do we get out of here now?
Oh,
yeah, we need to get going.
You're ready to leave then? That's so sad.
Look at this. Look at his back. It's not. Don't worry, Norak. It's not that bad. But
when you look up at the sky, by the way, the moon is already like straight above you. It's well past midnight at this point.
Shit.
It was maybe 2 p.m. when you came in. She says, "All right, well, a deal's a deal, and as at least one of you knows, we Eladrin have to keep our word. So I did agree that I would send one of my sisters with you. So here, you can take the maple drop." And she reaches behind her back, and there's nothing like she's not wearing a backpack or anything, but she reaches behind her back, and when she pulls her hand back around, she's holding a vibrant purple lily, like a lily, like a flower, with the petals enclosed the way that they are at nighttime. And she says she's sleeping, but when you need her, just blow on the flower a little bit, just gently, and she'll wake up and she'll help you. Anything you wish, you just ask for, and she'll make sure you get it, okay? And then she'll fly off and she'll come back to me, so don't think you can hold on to her forever.
Okay, so that's neat.
It is a lesser wish. You guys will have a lily of lesser wish. Technically, the fairy's inside of it, but you will have that for whoever wants to hold on to it. It is a flower, so you need to hopefully not crush it or anything.
Don't give it to me because I'll use it on something stupid, I'm sure.
I'll take it and take care of it because I'm good with plants, so
She says, and that she kind of leans around a little bit, like just looking around your back, Artemis. She says, "Please don't put her in there. She kind of needs to breathe."
I wouldn't put a living creature in there.
Okay. I just chilled her hands up, no offense, just saying. I know you like to squirrel away all your little things, your trinkets and bibobs, and put them in there. But
only animate objects, relics, and important things that can't breathe.
I'm lying. She doesn't need to breathe. But still, don't put her in there. It's dark, and she might get scared. She says, "All right, fine. Are you ready to go then? In such a hurry to leave me?"
Yeah, we can always come back.
She winks at you.
I wink back.
She's gonna look at Pogo. You will flirt with anything, won't you?
She's a beautiful young forest creature. Look at her. She's fantastic.
Her teeth take up half her face.
Oh, I don't know what you're talking about.
She is furious. Immediately livid. Sarah. "Excuse me, your teeth aren't so nice about yourself, lady."
I never said my teeth were perfect. I'm just.
Right, I've had enough of you. You all. You know what? The rest of you come back, especially you, but not the rest of you. You don't come back at all, Missy. And she
I'm
snapped.
perfectly fine with that.
The kind of the little donut shaped road basically that you guys are in just immediately fills up with this massive super dense thick fog. You can't even see each other. Launder, you hear him kind of standing back up again in surprise as you guys are surrounded with this fog so much that you can barely see even your hands. And then as quickly as it came, it begins to dissipate. The fog begins to fade away, leaving you all in the middle of the road here, but still very much at night. It is extremely dark out. The moon is well overhead. Norok,
Gotta light another torch.
I'll bring up dancing lights.
Okay, well, you go ahead and bring those up, but as soon as you spark them out, you see Norok collapse to the ground, unconscious.
Oh, fuck. Someone get water on him. He's like a whale in this. So I do actually have a healing potion. If no one else has anything they can do. I've been saving them, hoarding them.
Well, we're going to go ahead and end the session there.
All right, we'll end it there. Dude, I'm excited. I like our story. I can't wait to get to an inner tavern and add some melody to it.
Yeah, maybe clean up the punctuation and stuff, because where I typed it there, obviously there's capitalization that wouldn't be there and sentences that don't, will need to be broken apart, not in those little 3-line sections and so on.
Did I not get all of it? Did I somehow copy and paste like most? Oh, I forgot the fucking top two. I'm dumb.
In a galaxy not too different from this circle, there was a...
Yeah. Well, you gotta sing it. You gotta sing it.
All right.
You can't just say it. Then it just sounds stupid.
You're gonna have it ready to sing for us next time, or are you gonna save it for the performance? Next time you're actually at a tavern or something.
That's my plan. Yeah.
That'd be fun.